हेलो गाइस, सो गुड मॉर्निंग। सो आज एक नया पैच आया है डेडलॉक में, जिसमें एक्चुअली बहुत बड़ा पैच है। एंड शायद वो मैच मेकिंग एंड बहुत सारे कैरेक्टर रिलेटेड एंड आइटम रिलेटेड अपडेट्स हैं। तो साथ में आओ चेकआउट करते हैं। मेरे साथ में आज पापो है। फॉर सम रीज़न ही वांटेड टू चेक आउट। वो भी अभी तक नहीं देखा क्या क्या पैच में। सो विल चेक आउट टुगेदर एक्चुअली।
Hey
इज
guys,
इन गेम एक्चुअली इन विथ मी। सो लेट्स स्टार्ट द पैच एक्चुअली। तो यहाँ पर तो मैंने थोड़ा बहुत पढ़ा इस मैच मेकिंग रिवर्क के बारे में कि वो लोग शायद रैंक और नॉर्मल गेम मोड को शायद कंबाइन कर दिया। तो फर्स्ट थिंग इज सिंपल, वो लोग कंबाइन कर दिया एंड देयर लाइक नो लिमिट, सो नाउ यू कैन प्ले एनी टाइम रैंक्ड। तो अगला
finally,
फाइनली दे एडेड समथिंग। सो अब
yeah,
अब कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है कि कोई रात में आता है तो मे बी वो लोग रैंक नहीं खेल पाते एंड यू गेट लाइक नॉर्मल रैंक। सो अगला क्या, बैच विल अपडेट इमीडिएटली वेन एवर यू गेन और लूज एनफ एमएमआर। सो अब तो नॉर्मल रैंक जैसा हो गया राइट? ये इवन वैलोरेंट या डोटा जैसा कि लाइक एवरी गेम यू लूज और एवरी गेम यू गेन, you no longer has to wait a week or to play a certain game count. Okay, this is just they're making it simply कि normal game mode हो जाइए। People like to play this like normal rank games। वो लोग सारी restriction हटा दिए basically, right? Okay, there are hero MMR is now used in matchmaking. Okay, they added there's separate MMR now for like heroes and your overall performance. There are two types of MMR now. Probably they added like a leaderboard too actually. So it's just like a judgment on your skill. It determines on your skill, and with the hero will be based on 20 most recent games with the heroes in your profile. We have UI that shows you what the matchmaking thinks your related ranking for each hero is. Give us feedback. Okay, so basically they're saying ki UI, there are certain indication bars now on the menu to see कि you are growing in rank or no. Simple. They added leaderboards. Finally, they added leaderboards in game कि अब दूसरे वेबसाइट्स पे नहीं जाना पड़ेगा, राइट बापू? इससे पहले दूसरे
finally.
leaderboards वगैरह पे जाना पड़ता था। You can now
Well,
queue
very
in.
incorrect.
आई मीन या वो एक्चुअली बड़े इनकरेक्ट है बिकॉज ज़्यादातर लोग लॉग्ड इन नहीं रहते सब वेबसाइट्स पे। ओके अगला, यू कैन जस्ट क्यू। ओके दीज आर जस्ट रिलेटेड टू मैच मेकिंग। दे लाइक मेकिंग कि लाइक यू कैन नाउ पार्टी इन रैंक like in normal games you can now party in rank, but you can't party with a wide skill rating. If your friend is like higher MMR or like higher rank, you can't party with them, so that's good.
Finally, मैं scenario के MMR throw कर सकता हूँ. Let's
Haha,
go.
no, that will not happen. The amount of MMR you gain will be reduced somewhat based on the degree. Okay, so is a party to, oh, that means you can, I mean you can play with your higher MMR friends, but तुम्हारा MMR डिपेंड रहेगा कि लाइक कितना बढ़ेगा एंड कितना लोअर होगा। इफ़ यू विन इन लाइक अ लोअर ब्रैकेट तुम्हारा कम MMR बढ़ेगा। आई सी। सो इट्स बेसिकली अ नॉर्मल वैलोरेंट काइंड ऑफ स्ट्रक्चर राइट हियर, बट वैलोरेंट से ज़्यादा कॉम्प्लेक्स है टू बी ऑनेस्ट, बट सिमिलर है। Previous limit of high MMR party size was 2 to 3. This applies to Ascendant 1 and above. Okay, okay. This is just normal matchmaking. It was before it was applied before too कि Ascendant में ज़्यादा party games ऐसे भी तो सोलो ही थे, but अब now you can only party with 2 3 guys at a time if you're like higher rank. Given the update, no hour limit. Okay, we are waiting. Okay, they are just testing कि लाइक एनी टाइम गेम्स मिल सकते हैं कि नहीं, बट नहीं तो वो मैच मेकिंग को बंद एंड ऑफ फिर से करेंगे कि लाइक 5 AM सुबह में कोई गेम्स ढूंढ रहे होंगे and उसको लॉन्ग आवर वेटिंग्स करना पड़ रहा होगा। इफ़ यू प्रेफर प्लेइंग विद सोलो, या देयर इज अ कमांड कि तुमको बस सोलो वो मिले, सोलो गेम्स मिलेंगे। लाइक तुम्हारी पार्टी में एनिमी में सोलोज ही रहेंगे, अनलाइक कि अनफेयर मैच मेकिंग के लिए पार्टी के अगेंस्ट होता है वैसा नहीं रहेंगे। हाउ डू यू फील अबाउट दैट पापू, कि तुम सोलो अब खेल सकते हो? आई मीन पहले भी सोलो ही था, बट अब सोलो ऐसा नहीं रहेगा कि पार्टीज तुमको मिल रहे हैं एनिमी टीम में।
I mean,
हाउ डू यू
fair
फील अबाउट
point.
दैट?
देखिए, I'm being very honest with you. मेरे को तो ये लगता है कि जितना communication और रहता है, उतना ज़्यादा they can be able to play. And जितने समय से लोग खेल रहे होंगे, I think it's a good feature कि जो solo खेल रहा है, they can have that part कि जब जहाँ पे लोग ज़्यादा communicate नहीं कर रहे हैं, but still the enemy is doing the same thing. So yeah, it's a good thing.
I mean, it's just this command is good. I hope they add a like a option feature for this कि तुम डायरेक्ट ऑप्शन में कर सकते हो rather than just typing in the console, because कि बहुत सारे पार्टी प्लेयर्स बड़े टॉक्सिक होते हैं। दे लाइक ओनली हेल्प देयर टीममेट जो उनके पार्टी में, एंड दे लीव द सोलोस। सोलो खेलना इज ऑल्सो प्लस पॉइंट टू बी ऑनेस्ट, कि मोस्ट ट्राई सोलोस में रहता है इफ यू आर ट्राइंग टू विन। Okay, the other point is when queuing in as a party, you will have an option to override a default balance. Okay, so they added a new feature. Let me wait. Can you just do it? Okay, you can't. They added a new feature where this जब game start होता है, you guys like face the other team in like a terrace area. वहाँ पर तुम अपने लाइक अपने फ्रेंड्स को या जो भी तुम्हारे टीम मेंबर्स है उसको डायरेक्ट इनवाइट या रिक्वेस्ट भेज सकते हो फॉर लेन स्वैप्स, राइट? लेन स्वैप्स एंड आई थिंक इट्स नॉट देयर, इट्स लेन स्वैप्स के ऑप्शंस भेज सकते हो एंड लाइक इफ यू आर इन द पार्टी, इफ यू आर नॉट प्लेइंग लाइक सोलो, यू कैन ऑलरेडी आल्सो लाइक प्रायोरिटाइज योर लेन्स कि लाइक तुम दोनों को सोलो खेलना है या तुम दोनों को पार्टी के साथ एक्चुअली डुओ लेन खेलना है. नाउ यू कैन स्पेसिफाई दैट इन द स्टार्टिंग phase of the game. And the other point is the added swap lane feature. Yeah, I was talking about this कि during the rooftop thing and zipline phase तुम change कर सकते हो, like request भेज सकते हो अपने random teammates से, not your party, random teammates से for like to swap the lanes, जिससे तुम directly TP कर जाओगे दूसरे zipline पे, so you don't have to like jump off the zipline and go type करके, या वो सारे झंझट वो लोग हटा दिए. And the teammates can also deny it, so they don't TP. You need to request and they have to accept. There's an option to notify you anytime you rank up. There's also an option to show average bias. So yeah, settings mein I'll show you when I get into the game in a bit. There's an option to like see how much you rank up. These options are just for उन लोग के लिए जिस लोग को casual खेलना है and they don't wanna see their rank. वो लोग ये turn off कर सकते हैं. But if you care about your rank, ये on करके रखना है कि इससे पता चले कि like rank up हो रहा है या rank down हो रहा है. तो this is an option feature. Okay. How do you feel about how about you like feel about this things, Bapo? How do you feel about this update,
मैं
especially the
being
matchmaking?
very honest with you, मैचमेकिंग अपडेट्स आर रियली गुड. मेरे को बहुत पसंद आए हैं क्योंकि एज अ पार्टी प्लेयर मैं सोलो नहीं खेलता हूँ, तुम लोगों को तो पता ही है, सभी लोग को पता है ये चीज़. बट
Right.
एज अ सोलो प्लेयर एंड एज अ पार्टी प्लेयर, जो आप हैं सोलो प्लेयर और मैं पार्टी प्लेयर हूँ, मेरे को
हाँ.
बहुत ज़्यादा बुरा लगता है जब मेरे को सोलो लेन मिलती है. सो इट इज़ अ गुड थिंग कि नाउ आई कैन लेन विद माई पार्टी, नोइंग कि भाई मेरे को पार्टी ही लेन मिलने वाली है. आई डोंट हैव टू बेग समबडी, सम रैंडम पर्सन कि भाई प्लीज़ दे दे मेरे को मेरी जगह. इट्स अ गुड थिंग.
Okay. I mean it's yeah it's a good thing for like a party member, especially a new players. New players को जब solo lane मिल जाता है उनको दिक्कत होता
यस,
है.
अग्रीड, लाइक मी.
Yeah. Okay. Now we move on to general changes. जिसमें there are a lot of changes over here. बहुत सारे like ऐसे changes है जो बस थोड़ा बहुत like voice overs वगैरह change हुआ है and some animation changes. So I'll leave the link for this patch note if you guys want to read the general changes, like most of them कि क्या क्या voice overs change हुआ है तुम लोग पढ़ सकते हो. But I'll focus on the main like actual key features that they added or they changed, and we'll just skip the rest of the boring stuff in general change because there are a lot of it. So first thing is they added secondary keys in bind, so you can have like two keys set to a same thing. Like अगर jump मेरे को scroll wheel से करना है for like that CS को bunny hop things, तो मैं scroll wheel भी कर सकता हूँ and jump पे भी set कर सकता हूँ. It was not there before. मेरे को नहीं पता क्यों. Bapo really loves CS:GO, so he will like it, right, Bapo?
फाइनली मैं लेफ्ट राइट कर सकता हूँ फाइनली.
Yeah. Okay, you are now able to browse your favorite builds in dashboard. So you don't have to go in game to browse your builds now. You can browse it during the dashboard, during the menu phase actually. So that is good. Sandbox mode now shows the soul value of current items you have in your inventory. Okay, in sandbox you can see कितने souls के सारे items हैं, क्या value है तुम्हारे souls के. Like in the item thing कि कितने के आएंगे. So that is good for indicating new builds. एंड देयर आर एबिलिटी टूल बार जो तुमको दिखाते हैं कि क्या एबिलिटीज़ पे तुम्हारे मूव्स लगे हुए हैं फॉर इजियर विजिबिलिटी. आइटम इन द शॉप, अब टैग्स भी रहेंगे कि लाइक वो क्या आइटम करता है और लाइक अगर वो आइटम इम्ब्यूज्ड है सिमिलर टू एक्टिव आइटम. ओके. कंबाइनर टूल्स दिस टाइम स्टे ऑन द स्क्रीन अंटिल दे आर डिसमिस्ड. ओके, इससे कमेंट्स दिखता है कि कौन कौन कमेंट्स किया है. एडजस्ट द बिहेवियर ऑफ द इनकमिंग यूआई, incoming damage UI, so that is still be used in sandbox mode. Okay, not big of a deal. There's now a change hero button in the build browse which brings up the hero picker to different to choose a different hero in both sandbox and in the dashboard. ठीक है, ये भी कुछ ज़्यादा चेंज डिफरेंट नहीं है. quick buy quick buy changes is just not much. I don't use quick buy, but for you guys, if you guys do, they added like something कि like अब तुम sell कर सकते हो direct quick buy item. You quick buy and you have a option to quick sell it now. Some similar to like that something. Am I right, Papo? You can now
या.
quick queue item to sell. Yep. ये उस सब के लिए if you buy like a healing right and you have to sell it for like a different item, तुम already queue कर सकते हो for to selling that item. जिस तुमको problem ना हो कि like when you're buying इ- तुमको manually select करना पड़ता है. तो yeah, उन सब चीज़ के लिए actually वो. Okay, adjusted power rune designed to look more visually breakable. So they added one more feature where now you have to claim a power up. अब तुमको उसको punch करना पड़ेगा actually कि to claim that power rune. They changed like some melee charge mechanics, so we'll discuss it in the gameplay section. They said low priority matches, मैं कभी low priority में गया नहीं हूँ, but if you guys are, काउंट, अब तुम जीतोगे तभी काउंट होगा लो प्रायोरिटी मैचेस. एंड देयर आर सम फिक्स ओवर हियर कि लाइक रीचू बफ को थोड़ा स्टैट्स अब दिखेगा विजुअली, यू विल नो हाउ मेनी स्टैट्स यू गेटिंग. फिक्स कैमरा फॉर एब्रम्स, some more normal bug fixes, I mean normal fix abilities, cameras. There are some tweaks to usable abilities like cast time duration change, cast delays. It's not a big deal to be honest. You guys can check this out description में खुद से. These all the visual and fixed music thing जो भी bugs वगैरह थे वो सब fix हुआ है इसमें. These all are the same. Okay. So we move on to actually miscellaneous gameplay. These are the यहाँ पे सारी चीज़ दिखाएंगे जो सब actually change हुए हैं कि क्या सोल काउंट्स वगैरह मिलते हैं. दे चेंज द सोल शेयरिंग परसेंटेज कि लाइक स्टार्टिंग में तुम एक्चुअल डुअल लेन में तुम दोनों को सेम सोल्स मिलते हैं, बट एज द गेम प्रोग्रेसेस लाइक वो स्प्लिट अच्छा 70-50 का स्प्लिट रहता है, 70-60 का स्प्लिट रहता है. 70% स्प्लिट होता है एंड देन दे आर लाइक नाउ टू लाइक 60. इट वाज 70, नाउ दे 60 it. So yeah, now you get like less souls like before. If you are like still laning till like 12 minutes, you get less souls than the actual person who kills creep. Okay, now hero kill souls decrease. They decrease the number of souls you get from kills in the later game, not the early game. It's the same on the early game.
आई थिंक ये इसी चीज़ के लिए किया है क्योंकि दे आर ट्राइंग टू नर्फ अ लिटिल इन रिस्पेक्ट टू एग्रेसिव प्ले स्टाइल. दे वांट टू प्ले दिस गेम एज अ मोबा एंड आई थिंक इट्स अ गुड चेंज इन माय ओपिनियन.
Okay, I mean they changed it in the late game, so they want
या
players to come back into the game. अगर कोई team अगर actually far behind है, तो they're like कि rolled off ना हो जाए. उसके opposite favor में भी ये work कर सकता है कि like if you are far behind and there's a guy with like a 13-0, you kill them, you get less souls. But in opposite, if somebody kills you in the late game, you don't give that much souls कि तुम लोग का lead ज़्यादा नहीं बढ़ेगा. They try to lower the economy of the game actually in game. Okay, Walker Stomp now deals 10% max HP on damage. So walkers are doing more damage now. Walker laser now do also deals 2% max HP DPS. Okay. Walker now provides nearly nearby allies hero 25% bullet and spirit stamina. ओके, तो अब वॉकर के बगल में रहते हुए तुमको स्टैमिना मिलेगा. आई मीन स्पिरिट एंड बुलेट रेजिस्टेंस मिलेगा, राइट? तो
या
यू आर मोर टैंकी, सो इट विल हेल्प यू डिफेंड दी वॉकर एक्चुअली दिस टाइम. अनलाइक उससे पहले लोग बस खड़े होके मर जाते थे.
दिस
इफ
इज अ गुड चेंज. मेरे हिसाब से बहुत अच्छा चेंज है. मीन
या
बी वेरी ऑनेस्ट विद यू, जो टियर 1 टावर्स है अपने, इट वाज वेरी इजी टू टेक. लेकिन जब जब आपके नॉर्मली टियर 1 चले जाता था, इट इट वेंट टू अ बिग लीड नॉर्मली.
यप
कि
यप
आप यू आर लाइक 1 के अहेड एंड जैसे वो अपना टावर ले लेता है, यू आर इवन. सो
यप
दिस इज अ बिग चेंज इन माय ओपिनियन. प्लस अब वॉकर के पास जितनी रेजिस्टेंस है, इट इज अ गुड थिंग क्योंकि अगर मैं गैंग अप करके चले जाऊं तो 5 पीपल कैन टेक अ वॉकर इजीली, चाहे वो
यप.
मिनट 10 ही क्यों ना हो. सो आई लाइक दिस चेंजेस एंड these are good changes in my opinion.
ओके, आई मीन इट इज अ गुड चेंज, बट दे आल्सो मेड इट कि लाइक व्हाट इज दिस, नाउ हैव अ रेजिलियंस बेस्ड ऑन एनिमी. मतलब जितने एनिमीज बगल में रहेंगे उतना परसेंट रेजिलियंस रहेगा, उतना रेजिस्टेंस रहेगा एक्चुअली डैमेज से. इफ दे आर लाइक मोर पीपल लाइक 6 people अराउंड द वॉकर, there will be like 40% damage reduction on the walker अगर पूरा टीम रहेगा, if you have like whole team. So it is easier to defend it walkers. But एक और चीज़ है कि मिडिल लेन्स पे जो दो वॉकर है उन लोग का हेल्थ डबल रहा है. डबल आई मीन फ्रॉम 5800 to 8000 कंपेयर टू द साइड लेन वॉकर्स. तो वो लोग बना रहे हैं कि लाइक कि सेंटर मिडिल वॉकर जो होते हैं एनिमी टीम के या तुम्हारे, वो ज़्यादा टैंकी रहेंगे. सो इट इज़ हार्डर टू टेक कंट्रोल ऑफ दैट एरिया कि लाइक वॉकर डेड होने के बाद दे टेक कंट्रोल ऑफ द एरिया इजिली, right Vapo? So they making it
Yeah,
harder to take control of the middle area, and you can just take the side lanes. Side lanes are just similar. Side lanes are the, yeah, side lanes का HP थोड़ा 5100 है, so it is easier to take side lane walkers compared to the mid lane walkers.
आई बिलीव इट्स अ गुड चेंज क्योंकि जो सोलो प्लेयर्स है नॉर्मली जो सोलो लेन कर रहे
Hmm.
हैं उनके लिए इट्स अ गुड थिंग क्योंकि सोलो प्लेयर्स एक ही बंदे के अगेंस्ट रहते हैं, सो दे कैन आउटप्ले देम. वेल बीइंग विद टू पीपल इट इज रियली डिफिकल्ट टू आउटप्ले दोस टू पीपल. एंड
Hmm.
दिस इज अ गुड चेंज कि आप मिड लेन के वॉकर्स को बफ कर रहे हो कि नॉर्मली हाफ ऑफ द टाइम यू आर नियर दोस लेन्स एंड यू कैन इजीली डिफेंड देम चाहे आप कहीं पे भी क्यों ना हो.
Yep, that is a good change. Okay, Patreon lasers do 3% max. Okay, they increase the Patreon. They're basically increasing damage of the towers because they feel so underwhelming actually. If you can just tank them and just kill the tower if you're strong enough, that's why they're just increasing some damage from there. Okay, now flex slots unlock actually the last flex slots now unlock with one shrine and two base guardians. Before it was like two shrines. So they don't want people just rushing into the base and just getting the shrine. They want people to get the base guardian too. Base guardian means the guardians that are in the base actually, जो entrance पे रहते हैं. ओके ओके। मिड बॉस ट्रूप हेल्थ ओके डिक्रीज कर दिया, सो अब ज़्यादा टैंक ही नहीं रहेगा मिड बॉस जो क्रीप बफ देता है। सो इट इज़ ईजियर टू किल दैम बिकॉज बिफोर ओ मैन बहुत हार्ड था मारना क्रीप्स को इफ़ यू आर अंडर लेवल स्पेशली, और वो लोग मिड बॉस ले लेता है। ट्रूप स्पिरिट रेजिस्टेंस रिड्यूस्ड ओके। स्पिरिट रेजिस्टेंस ऐसे भी कोई बड़ा डील था नहीं, ऐसे फिजिकली मरता था। रिस्पॉन टाइम कर्व्स चेंज फ्रॉम हैपनिंग एट 7:30 7 to 30 minutes to 40 seconds to 70 to 20 to 40 ओके। सो पहले था इस हर लाइक एट 70 minutes रिस्पॉन टाइमर 40 seconds होते थे, एट 30 minutes रिस्पॉन टाइमर लाइक 70 seconds होते थे, बट नाउ इट स्टार्ट्स लाइक 20 seconds से बढ़ता है तुम्हारा रिस्पॉन टाइम, राइट? लाइक
अब
20 minutes से स्टार्ट होता है लाइक 40 seconds, राइट? पहले
या
17 सेकंड था।
एंड बीइंग वेरी ऑनेस्ट विद यू, ये बस यही चीज़ नर्व है कि अगर अर्ली गेम में आप डिस्ट्रॉय हो रहे हो, तो इट इज़ अ गुड थिंग कि वो लेटर स्टेज पे आपका रिस्पॉन टाइमर इंक्रीज हो रहा है rather than a little early stage. 3 minutes of farming you get at a different respawn timing, so it's a good thing.
या this change actually makes sense to be honest कि like to be, especially the other one कि 30 minutes से they change it for like now 40 minutes,
Yeah.
like when you reach 40 minutes you get like a 70-second respawn timer. So अब I think अब games थोड़े लंबे जाएंगे like a typical MOBA, उसका उससे पहले like 30 minutes end होते थे, like this helps the game to be honest. अब games जो रहेंगे नहीं तो पहले ख़त्म हो जाएंगे like in the less than like 30 minutes, like minimum like 25-minute games, or it will go to like if it's a equal game it will go till 40 minutes because like if the enemy kills you you're gonna have like a bigger timer till you respawn. Okay, we go next. Troop souls change. Okay, it gives like 60-40 to now 65-35. So you get 65% of the souls from a troop when you kill it, and orbs only give you 35% of. So orbs gives you less, killing the troops gives you more actually. Souls now. Medic troops now has 3 charges of healing rather than 2, so it heals 3 times. Fall off minute range reduced from 22 minutes to 20. Okay. Air drag when getting off the zipline increased from 20% to 25. Okay, this change is only applied when you jump off the zipline, not like crouch off. Because crouch off, you get no air drag, and if you jump off, you will not go further. But if you like crouch off, you'll go further. So it doesn't apply to crouch offing the zipline. It only applies to jump. Improve various issues with heavy melee and dash parry when there is a latency. Okay, I don't know about this one. Killing the
I
first
think
Patreon. Yeah, what?
I think ये चीज़ was improved कि being very like अगर there's a ramps just keeping is a little higher, let's say 120 ms and you're 60 ms, his punch still hits you even if you're parrying or not. When you
Okay.
dash parry there's a latency where it does when he hits you and वहाँ पे तुम्हें basically लगता है कि you parried it but वो हुआ नहीं. So they fixed this, which is a good thing.
Mm.
And yeah.
Parry. I mean, हाँ, वो legit. That was a nightmare, especially if you're playing Abrams. If you don't get parried, or like if you're the enemy, you feel like I parried, but it didn't like work. Okay, the other one is killing the first patron now causes any existing enemy hero. So first of all, killing the first patron means कि like उसका first phase कि जब वो float करता रहता है. And if you kill the patron, the if you're dead for like 40 seconds, अगर तुम्हारा patron मरता है first phase, तो तुम्हारा 20 second जो 20 second जो क्या उसको बोलते हैं respawn timer है, वो कम हो जाता है, right? So it is a good thing कि like for defending. अगर तुम्हारा game end होने वाला है, you got a chance to like come and fight. 20-second reduce. And it will not work अगर तुम्हारा already respawn time is less than 10 seconds. And less than 10 seconds रहा, your cooldown will not be reduced. How do you feel about this change actually? This changes a lot in game, especially when you're defending and you're losing.
Yeah, when we are losing लगता ही है कि अच्छा ओ मेरे एक बंदे का respawn timing is 10 seconds and then the other guy is like 40 seconds and possibility ये रहती है कि by the time जो 40 seconds वाला बंदा है वो respawn करेगा उससे पहले ही patron मर जाता है unless it is some miracle
Yeah,
happens.
or that patron is so low that they just gonna वो लोग बस
Yeah,
focus करेंगे and it will die कि like
yeah.
बहुत low health है, so
This
there's no
this
chance.
this you know basically activates कि एक final fight बची हुई है and you can actually fight for a final time as a 6v6
Yeah, and you can
so
use
that
your
yeah,
items.
yeah, as a final way. So I think
Yeah,
it's a really good change.
this makes the final fight actually good and not just give up and leave the game. Okay, तो अगला चेंज है पावर अप्स नाउ रिक्वायर्स हैवी मेले लाइक वी टॉक्ड अबाउट कि हैवी मेले के बाद पावर अप मिलता है तुमको. नाउ पहले बस पिकअप कर लेना था. पावर अप नाउ वीकेंड स्टार्ट्स वीकेंड एंड ग्रो स्ट्रॉन्गर. हर इट स्केल्स फ्रॉम 10 minutes to 40 minutes. तो एवरी 10 minutes you can have a weaker starts होता है weaker and it will grow like stronger till 40 minutes. It will be like more than what you used to get in 40 minutes to be honest. So these are the changes. If you guys want to read the changes of every rune, you can check the patch out. Or you can read this right now. You can pause the video. We'll move on actually. Earn time to reveal increase 20 seconds to 25 seconds. So if you guys didn't know, earn time may invisible. If you pick the earn, you become invisible for like 20 seconds before. Now it's 25 seconds. Initial earn bounty. Okay, so सबसे पहला earn अब बस 3000 souls देता है rather than 4050 it used to give. But अब it only पहला earn अब बस 3000 देता है. They nerfed earn in a some way कि like बस earn लोग से they don't get a big lead actually. Adding an alternative earn mechanic as an experiment for 2 days. Okay, this is an experiment, so we'll probably not. I will not talk about it. But if you guys want to read, you can read this. Okay, there are map changes. Actually, we'll just move on to the actual in-game, and we read while we show you. So yeah, give us a moment. We'll just change the in-game.
ये
Leave
चीज कट
buffer.
होगी सिनेरियो, ये
हाँ
कट होगी।
कट तो होगी भाई. ये तो
Yeah,
इसलिए तो बोले give us a move. आ जाओ तुम, मेरा गला दुख रहा है. Oh my god, this YouTube thing is so hard. You need to leave the party first. उसके बाद custom game invite देंगे. तो मेरी टीम है ना. I invite you. Come.
it still didn't come. Okay.
Come.
Yay. Cheats enabled. Duplicate heroes enabled. Let's go.
एक काम करें बापू हम लोग.
क्या?
How about हम लोग सारा like एक वीडियो में कर देते हैं and we cut the portion now.
I think जो इन मैप चेंजेस है, इनको क्या नाम है, अलग वीडियो बनाना चाहिए.
मैं रेडी हो तुम. उसके we'll talk about it. हम वीडियो कट वहाँ से चालू करेंगे जब हम लोग पहुँचेंगे वहाँ पे. So I was saying कि like तुम स्टार्ट करते हो like पोर्शन हम लोग इस एक ही वीडियो. I don't stop the recording. एक ही वीडियो में we talk about every section, even the heroes and items. हम लोग चेंज कर लेंगे like उसको कट करके डाल देंगे. How about that?
Yeah.
We don't have to do मेहनत 3 बार.
Yeah.
Complete the ritual, and the world
But
will
साथ में
never
साथ में.
get the name Lash.
इतनी मेहनत करनी पड़ेगी.
Okay, stop. We start the thing पहले. Okay, so first. Wait. I didn't switch the OBS. Okay, so first is this thing. They changed they recently added like a camp up here in Yellow Lane. They added a camp up here. The camp used to be here actually, a medium camp, but they made it so it is closer. नज़दीक है Yellow Lane से. इस जगह पे spawn करता है. It will spawn like in 4 minutes. So
as a person जो सोलो खेलता था for majority of my games, as a solo laner, I think this is a really good change क्योंकि yellow lane में हर समय लगता था. Why I'm farming that camp,
Crowd doesn't like it when I
I'm
film too
losing
quick.
creeps right now.
This
Right
helps me
here.
keep it
Now
interesting.
what I can do is either I can farm here and also shoot my troops from here, so that at least I can get some souls from there as well.
I mean,
and
this is change in my feel कि like I have played मतलब बहुत सारा solo games में खेला हूँ. तो especially yellow lane में मेरे को यहाँ पे boxes भी spawn करते हैं. I get these boxes and फिर यहाँ आना पड़ता था. And there are some boxes over there, but still most of the time मेरे को यहाँ से zipline करके वापस ले जाना रहता था. And I still miss like 1 or 2 creeps. After this update, मेरे को पता है कि I get these 2 boxes, this camps in this building, and I can still farm my creeps over here. So it is good change for like a solo player, right?
yeah, definitely.
Okay, this is the first map changes. So we'll go on the other one right now. The other one is they changed like they added a truck to climb up the interior bridge of the Port Access and Jazz Club building. Okay. And the other one, this is the canal. Oh, they changed it. They changed the canal area. Let's see. I think the canal is over here. What did they change over here, man?
I think canal is over here. You do.
What did they change here?
That's what I'm looking. Okay.
What did they change? They changed something below?
Yeah. Come here. Look at this. They added pipes. They added. This is like.
Oh,
a
you
little-
can't go up from here actually.
Yeah.
They closed this area.
They added more like aesthetic vibes to this by adding a vent here. Plus, this is a little smaller. This used to be much deeper in my opinion.
Okay,
People
we
used to
read the
slide a lot.
patch. Move upstairs from the central canal to the radio. Okay, they closed the radio interior. I mean, this building, you can't go down from here now anymore. Okay. And
a
what
really
did
good
they remove stairs up the radio station from the underground teleporter area. So yeah, they're talking about the staircase below. And redesign the radio station interior to be more open. They made it so like this feels like more open area and people can fight in here. Before it was like a closed wall over here. Okay, they made this change. Okay, we go into the next one. On the other side actually. ये भी
I
कट हो रहा
think infinite stamina on कर ले क्या अपन?
है नहीं होता है इसमें क्लाइंट साइड है
Cheats enabled है.
नहीं क्लाइंट साइड होता है बस सर्वर साइड नहीं चेंज कर सकते वो सब सर्वर साइड अब
Oh,
वी आर ऑन द गलत साइड ये सब कट हो रहा
yes, of course.
है आई फील सो क्रिंज्ड आउट भाई बट व्हाटएवर oh my god so they removed like a camp pathway from here there was a pathway that leads to yellow lane there used to be a path there was a camp and they removed it now this is the area and this area why this area I don't know but I think there's a camp over here that spawns
Retry. Come back.
क्या
Come back. पहली चीज तो क्या था ये? Why is this area? Are you stupid? You're the person who is telling somebody कि भाई, oh, this is happening in this game.
okay we do this so
Yeah, you can show your movement in the start of the clip. It is fine.
so there used to be an area over here that connects to the yellow lane but they removed it and they bring it over here like see there's a camp over here that you can farm like before and now this way it connects there's a camp over here now this connects the area to like a yellow lane and this is your normal earn area where you used to deliver and they added this now this is simpler to like you can move in and out before it was a big like बहुत बड़ा क्या बोलते हैं I hate this पापू
Retry. अब मैं बता रहा हूँ क्या बोल रहा है, ठीक है? You
I
were
hate
gonna tell them
this.
about this. It was perfect. Then you come here and यहाँ पे बोलोगे this was a little big wall जो यहाँ तक extend हो रही थी, यहाँ तक, and they basically changed it so that it is more open here. But एक चीज है यहाँ पे वेल होना चाहिए था, वेल वॉकर होना चाहिए था in my opinion.
okay
क्योंकि I
okay,
feel like
okay,
वहाँ पे होना
I
चाहिए.
see. So in here there used to be a big wall over here they removed it and made it an open big area so we can go in and out from this and we can take earned fights easier because there's an earned delivery station over here and this is the normal area that used to be that gives you out from the inner area to the jungle area so it is easier to maneuver so they basically made it like this area feels more open to take a fight in unlike before it was a closed area where taking earned fights was really like problematic and dangerous for like Lash players and Vindicta. So they changed it.
I'm really enjoying the fact कि यहाँ पे लोग claustrophobia को भी इतना importance दे रहे हैं, क्योंकि कुछ rooms में लगता है कि you're very claustrophobic.
Yeah, I know. Okay, the another map change they made is like near the blue lane.
Headed to
So
Broadway.
let me just get to the blue lane. और आ जा.
Yeah, वो blue lane पे ही जाके बोल रहा है भाई.
हाँ हम बस starting में बोले थे फिर यहाँ पे कट है. Okay. They removed the zipline I mean the rope area from here. So the only way to go up is like to wall jump.
Or you can just.
Or you can just double jump.
Yep.
Or they added this for like the wall jump maneuver. If you don't want to use stamina. So it is a small like removal but not big of a deal. But there was a wall kind of thing over here that blocks you from this area. So they removed it too. So it is easier to jump. These are the small changes they made. There's still
I
like
really like this
two
pathway,
more.
being very honest
What?
with you. This pathway is a really good thing. कि आप आराम से as a person who wants to rotate out, you can just do this and then you can rotate out to whatever you want to, whatever place you want to go.
Yeah, before it was a hidden area. People didn't know about this area because it was behind a wall.
Yeah.
But they removed it, so it is more visible.
You think you got
Okay,
the best of me?
so near the green lane, they added a new area. Come to me. They added a new face for this. Yep, this building was not here before. They changed it. They made it like a different material or something. They changed this building. Not much to see here, but they changed it.
It is pleasing aesthetic wise. It is very
Aesthetic wise, it's pleasing, but it's not much. And they
pleasing.
added.
As a connoisseur, I think it's a good game.
Yes.
They've destroyed the
अब
guardian.
चलो दूसरे साइड चलो.
Green, right?
ग्रीन नहीं कौन सा लेता उधर ही हाँ ग्रीन ही जाना एक्चुअली वेंडिंग मशीन एरिया में ओह बॉय
Yeah, you are concerned.
वो लाइक मेरा गलत होता है सो
पानी पी लो.
another change they made it is over here actually it is on the other side of the map so my bad
नहीं नीचे भी change हुआ है. आ जाओ.
okay they made a change over here
Our
so
purple
there's
walkers
a
are
zapper
back.
thing over here what is this
Has arrived.
They added stability
okay we
so that you don't
cut
fall off
this
from here. Yeah.
we cut
you
this
don't
पहले
fall
हम
off.
लोग देख लिए क्या है
Yes, this is just the quality of life.
okay they added a new building face for it a new Added a street gate structure between the garage. Added zapper effects to the. Added a fence guard. Okay. Okay.
The spirit urn is waiting to be
Okay. They
claimed.
changed in this building. They added a fence so you don't fall off from here. It is a small change, but yeah, here it is. Okay. We go. What's the other change, bhai? They added street gate structure between the garage. Okay. One more change they made was over here. They added this gate over here, and you may ask why they added this gate. It is because they wanted उन लोग को ये हटाना था कि लोग ये momentum ना कर पाए for rotation. Like it is harder to do the wall jump into the rotation to yellow lane.
It is still
Yeah,
possible,
it is
but
still possible, but it is much more difficult because
yeah,
you
it's much
you
more.
need अब यहाँ पे वैसे land होता है, so it is much more difficult. I don't know why they added.
Such
Mostly
blessings
because
I
लोग
shall
abuse कर रहे थे
give.
wall jumps इसलिए
Yeah, and
fast rotation के लिए इसलिए. But with that being said, वो सारे थे the map changes. I know बहुत सारे little changes भी थे, but they were थोड़े बहुत big changes like the yellow lane thing, and they made this area bigger. So these are the map changes. So we move back to our patch notes. Okay, okay.
leave.
रहो ना अभी patch note पर.
नहीं नहीं, लीव
Okay,
का मतलब है कि go back to sandbox.
we'll go back to sandbox in a bit. Okay, okay. So they also like tweak some healing and anti-healing rebalance. How do you feel about that, Papu? They made like a lot of character heal less now, or like healing
I think
reduction वगैरह किए वो लोग.
I think personally, I think anti-healing was really broken in this game,
I mean, they
and
remake the everything like healing and anti-healing. You know?
I think healing wasn't that big of a, it didn't require much change. But मेरे को लग रहा था कि anti-healing is like a very big portion. कि आप, so let's say you're taking leech, you are 40% healing from that, 40 or 50%, whatever the number
Yep.
is. And you buy a 1250 item known as Heal Vein, and now 15% of that healing is just gone. That's a
Yep.
big thing when you're buying a 6200 item.
Yeah, you're right.
So I feel like the changes are good, but I don't feel like the healing changes should be there. But it's just how the game is, and I think if I play more games, I'll understand it more.
I mean, yeah, you're right, but by the looks of the patch, like Abrams got his healing, like his passive healing reduced. They're trying to reduce the healing of different heroes. Like even Dynamo got his healing reduced like a little bit, and they are also trying to reduce the healing reduction. They're basically trying to reduce both of the things कि heal कम हो and heal reduction भी कम हो कि like थोड़ा normal fight हो सके, you know? मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ?
कोई ना, इस चीज़ को सैंडबॉक्स में बताना, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है। ये
Okay,
चीज़ वाले में डोंट डू इट हियर, एंड उसका एक थोड़ा सा एक फॉर्मुलेट कर लो, क्योंकि कुछ-कुछ चीज़ें तो आपको पढ़ के तो बोलनी ही है। तो जो आपका
okay,
ओपिनियन है वो आप फॉर्मुलेट कर लो।
uh,
डिस्कनेक्टिंग,
okay.
लीव,
Okay,
अबैंडन, लीव।
वैसे भी last था ये.
यप,
Okay, so I was talking about the lane swap thing. So अब यहाँ पर जो दिख रहा है कि this is my teammate, मैं यहाँ पे उसको request कर सकता हूँ to a lane swap, and he can just accept the lane swap और हम हमारे lane swap हो जाते हैं. तो हम लोग को डायरेक्टली जिपलाइन से उतर के जाना नहीं पड़ेगा दूसरे जिपलाइन पे टू सॉप द लेन. गेम ऑटोमेटिकली हम लोग के लिए सॉप कर देता है लेन. ये बस
बट
टीममेट्स के लिए नहीं होता, ये एक्चुअली रैंडम्स के साथ भी तुम कर सकते हो. लाइक रैंडम्स को रिक्वेस्ट भेज सकते हो एंड दे एक्सेप्ट इट एंड तुम दोनों का लेन स्वैप हो जाता है. बट इन पार्टीज गेम के स्टार्टिंग में तुम प्रेफर्ड कर सकते हो कि लाइक तुम लोग साथ में करना लेन या सोलो सोलो लेन करना. इट डिपेंड्स. सो दिस वाज द फीचर दे एडेड. सो
बट
नाउ
आपकी स्वैप तभी होगी जब बोथ ऑफ द पार्टीज कंसेंट टू इट। बेसिकली आपको एक मैसेज आता है ऑन द टॉप लेफ्ट जहाँ पे आपका हीरो आइकन है। दे आस्क, देयर इज बेसिकली मैसेज आइकन, उस पर आप क्लिक करते हो तभी वो एक्सेप्ट होता है। यू कैन ऑल्सो डिनाई इट, और यू कैन जस्ट लेट इट एक्सपायर। इट्स ऑल अप टू यू। So guys, let's start with our anti-healing and healing changes. They basically reworked it, and it's a good rework in my opinion. And basically, यार देखा जाए ना, so they basically removed everything and they just reworked everything. And they buffed and nerfed a lot of anti-healing and healing weapons, heroes as well. And I think it's a good change. I mean, being very honest with you, मेरे को लगता था कि anti-healing was, very broken. अगर आप जाओ vitality में, you can buy a fucking 1250 item known as Heal Bane, and you are already cutting 40% healing reduction. How is that balance when I'm buying, when I'm buying leech, I'm getting 32% spirit lifesteal, bullet lifesteal, 40% of that is just going away, and that's a big thing because एक 1250 वाला item मेरे 6200 वाला item को half counter कर रहा है. It's a big thing in my opinion. So it's a good thing that they are changing it, and it's a great thing that they're also implementing the other portion of this thing कि वो लोग बाकी heroes जैसे अब्राहम्स का हम लोग का infernal resilience है, या फिर डायनामो का रिजुवरेशन हो रहा है, या फिर ग्रेट एलन की जो रेन ऑफ एरोस का टीयर 3 वाला जो वो रहता है, वो सारे सारे लोग रिवर्क कर रहे हैं सो दैट इतना ज़्यादा भी ना ब्रोकन रहे कि जस्ट पीपल आर जस्ट पिकिंग दैट कैरेक्टर इन द सर्टन पैच बिकॉज इट इज सो ब्रोकन. and there is actually a counter against him, and I really enjoy that. And they have changed every single thing. They have increased healing reduction or decreased healing reduction from items. If you want to read it, it's gonna be right below in the description. You guys can read it. It is very simple. They have basically reduced everything from bullet lifesteal to spirit lifesteal, and it's a good thing in my opinion. What's your opinion on this scenario?
It is actually a good change because healing was a big thing in this game, especially healing and healing reduction. Like Lash जैसे हो गया, like Shiv and even Abrams. उन लोग का healing sometimes felt कि like insane healing कर रहा है वो लोग, and you're doing no damage. And sometimes ये भी feel हुआ है कि like if you are playing like Abrams or like Shiv or anything, Geist जो बहुत heal करते हैं, वो सब भी characters are like you do no damage, either you do no damage to them because वो लोग बहुत heal कर रहे हैं, either they feel like a garbage hero because कोई even leash is not working because एक item है for like toxic bullets or like there are heal bane तो almost 60% तुम्हारे heal reduce कर देते हैं. That felt a lot, and your item feels like it's useless and you have to buy like a dispel item or you have to run away from that so कि तुम वापस fight ले सको. तो इसलिए मेरे को लगता है वो लोग कुछ जो भी कर रहे हैं, they remove some duration of like heal bane. I think later in the patch they improve the heal bane duration. We'll talk about it later in the item video. But the thing is, they nerfed the I think the percentage of it, ki how much healing it reduces. So it is good in my opinion. This change feels good for those heroes that struggles with heal bane.
So let's start with the item changes. ये बहुत बड़ा patch था, and there are a lot of item changes. There are a lot of new items. So let's start with our weapon items. सबसे पहला change जो rapid rounds को मिला है, it is the fire rate increase. And a fire rate increase is a great thing क्योंकि आप early game में you can dish out more DPS on anybody.
Yeah, I agree actually. It used to be a good item before, but it is now actually better, especially if you're playing Haze or any character that requires rapid firing, like increased fire rate. It is a decent change. I would not say it will break the item or like everybody will buy it, but it's a normal change.
Definitely agreed.
Move on.
The next item that we have is the monster rounds. Personally मेरे को लगता था कि monster rounds in a losing lane is a very big thing क्योंकि monster rounds help you CS faster so that आप lane में ज़्यादा देर नहीं हो. And they reduced monster rounds by lowering the health from 50 to 30 while keeping the rest of the stats same.
I mean, they just used it कि like ये बस specifically use दो ये item for like if you're having a bad lane and you need to farm, especially अगर तुम spirit build जा रहे हो and you don't care about your weapon damage, तब ये item अच्छा है for farming. And अगर bad lane जा रहा है, you just get this item, hit the camps कि like उसके बाद camp farm करना आसान होगा. And they're making it so it is not a usual item कि like सारे लोग जा रहे हैं and it provides like health. So they are kind of nerfing it because it is already powerful to like farm camps. In early game, minute 4 you can farm camp easily with this item, farm like medium camps. So I think they're nerfing it quite a bit. It is a good nerf. It is actually a balanced nerf, to be honest. Move on to the next item.
The third item is Berserker. I think
Okay.
Berserker a lot of people did not make because उसका इतना ज़्यादा value point नहीं दिख रहा था. So to increase that value point, they have increased the weapon damage per stack because Berserker was basically what it does is it increases as you take sustained damage. And
Yeah.
there was only a few heroes who made it. I think Abrahams made it, and I think Dynamo made it sometimes, but not very often. So they are just making it so that more people are more inclined to buy this item.
पहले I guess 5% था, right? Weapon damage
Yeah,
इसका.
yeah.
I mean, most of the people don't make this Berserker item because उन लोग का लगता है it is not worth the time because उन लोग का stats अच्छा नहीं है. Berserker only gives you like 4 plus ammo and like 9% bullet rest. But Berserker का main motive आता है तुम्हारा ये weapon damage per stack से. Because पहले 5% था, it was still a lot before. Now it's 6%. I think it encouraged people to go see this item as a good item now because how it works, it's like you take 100 damage, you get a stack. It stacks up to 10, 10 तक stack जाता है, and if you calculate, you get like 6 into 10, you like 60, right? Am I right? 60 damage,
Yeah.
60% weapon damage you get अगर तुम्हारे पास पूरा stacks है for like 10 seconds. So it is a good item if you tank a lot, especially on Lash. Heroes like Lash and like in 7. It is a good item to build, especially now even like after the buff. It was good before, but now it's actually good. 6%. It's not gonna be broken, but it's at a normal place. So we move on to the next item now.
The next item which got reworked is Soul Shadow Bullets. Soul Shadow Bullets, in my opinion, was a really good item that you buy early game, and what it does is basically it amplifies the spirit damage, and so the next item which got changed is Soul Shadow Bullets. The spirit amp was reduced from 10% to 8%. I think it's a really good change because this item was really broken जब आप early game में buy कर रहे हो या फिर mid game में use
Oh,
कर रहे हो.
they reduce the amp.
Yeah, spirit amp.
Oh, they reduce the amp. Okay. I mean,
They kept the
I
spirit
don't think they.
lifesteal the same.
I don't think they made it. It was a broken. To be honest, I don't think it was a broken item back. like before this patch. But I think they made this change because they added a new item I can see related to this item. I think we'll talk about the new item later, but I think they made this change to like combined with the new item there is to it builds up. I think that's why they like reduce some of the spirit amp. I feel like that's the reason they removed it because I don't think this was a broken item before. So some characters made it like Infernus and Guys, but I think this change was just implemented for like because there was a new item related to it. That's why I think they made this item like some less viable without the upgrade. So we move on to the next item actually
The next
called
item we have is Headhunter. They decrease the headshot damage,
okay,
bonus damage
Headhunter
that it gave. It used to be, 100 and,
40.
140. Now it is 130.
Okay, this is a big change actually for Headhunter. Like characters like Lash or like even Vindicta loves the Headhunter because it provides a good amount of damage. They nerfed it for like 10 damage. It doesn't feel a lot, but it is a lot because this item was really good. And I think it's a decent nerf. I mean, it's not gonna be like people will still buy it. People will still buy it. People will not like leave it because it's a bad item. It's actually a good item. It provides you with max health. It heals you. It is a good item, but this nerf, it doesn't make sense to be honest. It was good. Headshot Hunter was good at where it was. So we move on.
The next item we have is Alchemical Fire. This item, being very honest with you, was a really crazy item in my opinion because it was like a new concept. It was not really a thing which I saw it would happen, but it happened, and I think it's a good thing that they're buffing this,
Yeah, it
and
lasts longer for
it
like one
lasts
second.
longer. Yeah, the DPS of this, lingers when you get out of that area, that AOE. It still lingers for 1 second, so it takes you at least once or twice, and it's a good change in my opinion.
Yeah, people like Ivy, characters like Ivy just likes this item. If Ivy player goes like the Bramble build, they really like to build this for that AoE damage. It takes a lot in a team fight if the enemies are not careful enough. पापा तो मिस करती है heroic aura.
Yeah, must be
So
Zara.
so we move on to the next item.
The next item we have is Heroic Aura. Heroic Aura, in my opinion, was a really good item for anybody who liked provide fire rates near to player minions. So like it was a really good item for beginners. And
Yep.
uh, and being very honest with you, I like that they're reducing it because a few patches before they nerfed beginners by a lot. And I think it's a good thing so that they're also implementing in such a way that McGinnis is also a viable character now.
I mean, yeah, Magnus was a viable character, but I think in recent patches, people stopped playing Magnus for some reason because of the nerfs they added. बहुत सारा nerfs आया था actually Magnus पे, so इसलिए लोग stop कर दिए खेलना. But ये change probably focused on more like a support build, especially Magnus, because nerfs के बाद को लोग खेल नहीं रहे Magnus, so this will help some players build up the courage to play Magnus again. This nerfs lower the cost. They can fight more with this buff actually. They can fight
Yeah,
more with
you
his turrets. So it is a good change for certain heroes. Like I think heroic aura in general, most character doesn't build it, does not build, especially support characters like Ivy. Ivy sometimes Ivy builds it. Dynamo, there's no Dynamo build with heroic aura. You can go heroic aura if you are a fully fledged team player, and there's no viscous player going heroic aura. So it's just simply a like a item that nobody makes, but it is good on certain heroes like Meganus, especially Meganus to be honest. So we move on to the next item now.
The next item we have is Hunter's Aura. They reduce the fire rate by reducing it by 1%. It doesn't feel like a lot, but you know, it is a start because Hunter's Aura and other abilities of different characters, it made you feel like your fire rate is gone.
We move on to the next item.
The next item we have is Hunter's Aura. Hunter's Aura में ज़्यादा कुछ change तो नहीं किया है. The stats are the same, but what they changed is the bullet fire rate slow. It was 10%, now it's 9%, and it doesn't seem like a lot at once, but when it stacks with other items and other abilities of heroes, it deals a lot of deals a lot of pain to you. क्योंकि मेरे को लगता था कि एक कोई ability अगर मेरे पे डाल दी गई है with Hunter's Aura, मेरा bullet speed इतनी slow हो जाती है as a wraith player and haste player कि मेरे को खेलने का ही मन नहीं कर रहा है जब तक वो मेरा नहीं निकल रहा है. So
Yep.
yeah.
If I'm not wrong, बहुत सारी हेस्ट प्लेयर ये आइटम जा रहे थे रिसेंटली हंटर्स ऑरा फॉर लाइक दैट बुलेट रेजिस्टेंस एंड फायर रेट जो रिड्यूस करता था एनिमी का राइट ये just
Yeah.
for that 9% there were a lot of haste players that were going Hunter's Aura in their build and मेरे को लग रहा है just for that reason they nerfed it for like a bit because I don't think people still makes Hunter's Aura a lot. Hunter's Aura फिर वही like a Magnus item है to be honest Aura carrier this अभी कोई specific Aura carrier इस game में नहीं है that has to build like an Aura item if you leave aside Magnus because she got turrets but other than her it's only like Haze जो अभी रिसेंटली ये आइटम जा रही है. सो मेरे को लग रहा है ये बस हेज के लिए नर्फ है. इट्स नॉट अ बिग नर्फ if you want to go this item, but to be honest, for 3000 it only reduced like 9% of bullet res. Before it was 10, it was good. 9, I don't think it's a viable item to buy now. Even on haze there are much better items to buy. So I don't know about this item, but I will leave on to you how you feel about this item in general, like compared to the haze meta. कुछ बक्को भाई, तुम्हारा टाइम है, वेट नहीं हुआ है. हेलो.
अरे तुम्हें बोला ना, वी मूव ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट आइटम.
Okay, okay, we move on to the next item now.
The next item we have in the tier 3 category is Spell Slinger Headshots. This is a new item, and I'm really excited to play around with this. As as I've read it, it gives you 8% Spirit Amp proc. It gives you 18% Spirit Amp proc. It gives you 12% weapon damage, and it gives you 150 health. This is the base stats of them. And its passive is basically you landing a headshot on an enemy increases your total spirit power. Being very honest with you, that this is a really great thing. Really great thing. Why? Because this is another way of saying कि यार I can finally play on my skill, and because I'm landing headshot on somebody, I'm getting more conditional spirit power every single time, so I can be more useful to the fights, and it's a great item कि I can finally upgrade my soul shader bullets. Normally as an infernus or somebody who plays a lot of spirit amp gameplay, like I think if I'm not wrong, spirit shader bullets also, soul shader bullets also goes Yamato and other people. So it's a really good item because in the later stage it is a definitely buff to you, and it's a really good item because you keep it till the end.
Okay, so I'll show you in game how does it look. This item provides like it provides 3% spirit power whenever you hit a headshot. It's a 12-second buff duration and it stacks up to 12 times. So it's like 3 stacks, like 3% spirit power per stack, right? Mine is right, like, wait.
Stay
Okay,
strong, buddy.
spell slinger headshots. So it is made using the soul shader bullets, its component, and it does whatever soul shader does. It reduces the spirit resistance. It does more damage to your spirits through your spirits when you hit somebody with physical, and it increases your spirit power for like 12 seconds, and it provides you a stack every time you hit a headshot. So it increases your stack, increases your spirit power. So if you keep hitting him, if you are like a right click Hikai, it increases your spirit power, so you do more damage to him with your spirit. I think it's a good item if you already build like soul shader. It is a really good item if you build up and you have to upgrade it. So I mean, it's not gonna be an S tier item. Every सारे लोग जितने भी soul share जाते हैं, they complete it. But it is a good option for some characters like Geist and Infernus. So we'll see what this item brings in the later gameplay sessions. We move on to the next. We move on to the next weapon item now. Go ahead.
That's okay. So the next item we have is Glass Cannon. It now requires slowing bullets and grants slow passively. I think, in my opinion, it was
Look,
debatable
work on
whether or
your
not you're
trust
going
fund,
Glass
baby.
Cannon,
That was
whether or
before
not
you
going
were
your
spending your
tier
trust fund.
3 items, tier 4 items. It already depended on you. But adding slowing bullets, increasing its cost, it's a really good thing because I believe that Glass Cannon was good if you wanted to use it because it did a lot of damage while reducing your health. Now you also have this slowing bullets part, so it's a really good item in my opinion now.
I mean, in my opinion, the item. First thing first, this item is expensive as well. Now it is more expensive because it takes like 7,450 now. Before it was like I think 6,000. Now it is more expensive. Plus it still does the same thing. If you kill somebody, it grants you the same like permanent weapon damage, 10% permanent weapon damage up to 70. So it goes up to 70%, and you lose one stack when you die. They didn't change this. You still lose 20% of max health. The only thing they changed, like they added slowing bullet effect. So I don't think this whole weapon glass cannon thing will still be more viable in normal games. People will still like to skip this item and make more useful item like crippling or like Finzi or like even Shadow Weave, and not buy glass cannon until like 40 minutes or late game. But this change is just like for somebody ki, like they wanted some more things from glass cannon, because glass cannon doesn't feel कि like कुछ और करता है, unlike it just gives you raw damage. So this is a whatever change. I still don't think कि ज़्यादा लोग खरीदने वाले आइटम को. ये आइटम का स्टैट्स अभी वही रहेगा. So we move on to the next item.
The next item we have is Silencer. They rework this item. Now it passively builds up on enemy silencing for 2 seconds, and then reducing spirit damage output by 40% for 4 seconds. Enemy affected cannot be affected again for 12 seconds. Now grants 20 weapon damage, 15 spirit res, 20% buff reduction. Build up it's a bit slow than toxic bullets. So what they did is they completely reworked this item.
Hmm.
Silencer used to be a thing which you activate, and then it silenced people whoever you shoot. Now
Okay.
it's a passive item. Now it needs to be built up. It's like toxic bullets, but a better one. At that key, you can silence the enemy for 2 seconds. When you do that, there's a charge over here, and then after the 2 seconds are over, you cannot do that for the next 12 seconds on that same
Son of
hero.
a bitch. We
So
made good meal.
when you actually hit that hero, when you do actually hit that hero, there's a chance, there's a circle on top of them, which you see, and when you do that, it basically takes it down, as shown,
Oh,
and
so they are
she's
silenced.
they're silenced till now, and then after that they have 12 seconds of absolute invulnerability. They cannot get silenced by you again.
Yeah, but their उन लोग का spirit resistance like I mean spirit resistance. उन लोग का
Yeah.
spirit damage reduced है. They do less spirit damage to me.
I mean, in my opinion, the people who built it and people who required it, it was very a conditional item from the start. And I think it's a good change, but I also think it will affect some gameplay aspect of building this item, because I still believe that why should I go silencer spending 6,200 6,200 on an item when I can just buy a spirit item of 3,000 known as silence glyph, and they are silenced for a lot longer.
Okay,
So it's just my opinion on that.
so they basically did they reworked the silencer. You no longer need slowing bullets now. You no longer need slowing bullets अब silencer बनाने में because आप उस class करने में डाल दिया वो. And now it gives you 2 seconds of silence, right? 2 seconds.
Yeah.
2 seconds of silence, and plus they reduce the spirit damage reduction. Like the enemy I apply जिस पे मैं silence मार रहा हूँ उनका 40% spirit damage reduce होगा. And how will this work in game? It can work against उन लोग पे if you're like a Infernus and सामने pocket है and you got um, lash and guys and you want to silence them and वो लोग spirit damage देते हैं बहुत. You can just silence them and they have their reduced spirit damage. They do less damage to you. They are also silenced. You can kill them. So it's I mean पुराने silence से तो better नहीं है, but it's still good कि like वो लोग
Yeah.
add किया है one more thing. Plus it gives you 20% debuff resistance. So it is a really good item अगर guy enemy team में guys है Infernus or anybody that gives you like a lot of that does a lot of spirit damage and उन लोगों के पास ऐसा कोई ability है जो भागने में उनको help करता है या like they have a escape thing. So they are mostly focusing on like a util kind of silence right here. So it is a good update to a silence silencer. It is useful against mages a lot. So viable item in my opinion. So we move on to the next item.
The next item we have is Lucky Shot. They basically gave it two different buffs. They first of all increase the damage multiplier from 90% to 110%, and now it also grants a 115 bullet shield.
Okay, they improve the damage. It does. It's fine. It's not much damage. 90% to 110.
The
I mean अभी
20% increase.
अभी भी hard है इसको proc करना to be honest if attack speed नहीं है. Lucky shot good for haze. Haze के लिए अच्छा था and you got Vindicta जिसके लिए अच्छा था Lucky shot. But it is kind of mediocre to be honest. 90% to 110. It is a multiplier, not the chances. जितना भी multiplier है वो है. But ठीक है. Whenever it hits, you do 110 bonus weapon damage. It's good. And plus they added 150 bullet shield. So this game is making more like a tankiness if you buy Lucky shot, and especially if you build like
Son of a bitch.
enchanted barrier into Veil or like combat barrier on Vindicta. You get a lot of shield. You get like 725 bullet barrier. This is a good item, in my opinion. We move on to the vitality section now.
Vitality section is a really big changes as the healing and anti-healing challenge changes are there. So we'll start with our first thing, melee lifesteal. Now grants 3% bullet resistance. In my opinion, melee lifesteal up एकदम early game stages में लेते थे of the game, so
Yeah.
that you can get lifesteal from punching as a Abrahams or something like who doesn't have a lot of attack speed, or basically when you're playing Yamato or Dynamo or these heroes. So I think this change is a really good thing. So you can go to a creep, you can go and heavy attack it, and you can come back while taking a less damage. So I think it's a good change.
3% bullet res is good. Early game stage में 3% stacks a lot. 3% bullet res अगर enemy में अगर physical damage ज़्यादा है, physical I mean weapon damage, it helps you survive the lane. So it is a good item. We move on to the next item.
The next item we have is reactive barrier. it basically reduces the shield that it grants by 50%. 50. It's a good
Okay.
change.
Okay, the bullet shield, bullet reactive barrier was broken. Lash वगैरह लोग बहुत जा रहे थे. So they reduced it for like from 400 to 350. ठीक है, it's viable कम होगा आपका, is like cause like 50% less shield, but it is a good change. कि like there was a lot of uses. So we move on to the next vitality item.
The next vitality item we have is Return Fire. Return Fire now requires extra regen. Great change again.
Okay, they now it's built up with extra regen. Regen. I mean, most heroes like Lash used to make extra regen for sustain, and now it will try to convert into like return fire. Yes, it increases the cost of it, but it is a good change and a good builder for heroes like Lash. We move on to the next item.
Now here comes the two changes that happened to debuff reducer. They reduced the debuff resist from 30% to 28%, and they increased weapon damage from 6% to 8%. I think it's a good change, but it's more towards how the gameplay will be affected while making debuff reducer. It depends.
Okay, the main spotlight of this debuff reducer is कि like debuff reducer is just a big thing. Like this game has a lot of debuffs, especially against the pocket. Pocket के against तो ulti को सबको हटाना है. तो debuff reducer gives like it reduced by 2%, right? 2% is not a lot. People will still make it. And the other change is like weapon damage reduced from 6%. It increased from 6% to 8%. It provides more. They nerf the resistance and increase the damage. So it is a balanced nerf. I'm not gonna say the debuff reducer will die. People will still make it. It's a great item, but it provides more damage impact than the 2% debuff reducer. So it is a normal change. People will still make it. So we'll move on to the next item.
The next item we have is Divine Barrier. These guys are nerfing these barrier items, and I really like it. Now it grants 8 ability range instead of 6, and it no longer grants 1% spirit.
Okay, so they are basically removing the active buff that gives 8% ability range. Again, instead of plus 6 spirit power. Oh no, now it provides 8% ability range. Okay, it provides range now. And before it used to provide 6%, 6, actually not 6%, 6 spirit power. Okay. And now it passively provides, does it? No longer grants 1 spirit. So divine barrier, they are not nerfing barriers. Basically, they are nerfing the, now you no longer get spirit power from divine barrier. It only gives you like the range and only the barrier. Okay. So it's just nerfing towards the more spirit heroes. So we move on to the next item.
The next item we have is Healing Nova. It no longer provides 6% ability range. It doesn't really affect much, in my opinion.
Yeah, healing Nova was just mostly for the sustain in lane, especially near the 10 minutes. So it still heals a lot. Sure, 6% ability range hurts, but it's whatever. It still heals the same amount, so it is good in the laning phase, especially on Kelvin and Bebop. If you're going support Bebop, so it is good. So we move on to the next item.
They increased the duration of Heal Bane from 6% to 7%. Good change.
Heal win to 6%. Yeah, like I said before, like in the healing and anti-healing rework, they increase the duration, but they reduce the heal bane effectiveness. So it is good. We move on to the next item.
There is another two changes to debuff remover. It active buff duration on purge is increased from 3 seconds to 4 seconds, and purging a debuff now also heals you 10% of your max HP. Great change, in my opinion. This new debuff, when you purge a debuff, it heals you by 10%. Because as an Infernus player, it was really, it was really sad when anybody would have just, removed my third move from them.
Okay, this is the more expensive version of a debuff reducer, debuff remover.
Your firearms
So
will be broken
active
before
buff,
attack.
okay. So basically buff duration थोड़ा कम रहेगा, like 3 seconds. They improve it, right? They increased it. And the other thing is कि जितना debuff remove purge होगा, उतना 10% of the heal you will get healed. I mean, they are buffing debuff remover and nerfing like the percentage of debuff reduction you get. So it is a balanced nerf for both of the item. We go into the next item, rescue beam.
Rescue Beam now it has gotten a little bit of change from reducing its healing from 26% to 24%, but it also now grants 6% ability range. So the 2% change, in my opinion, is not that much, but it's going to affect a lot of people.
Okay. The heal rescue beam. Rescue beam was just used for like recalling people. The main purpose of using rescue beam was just calling people back. To be honest, it grants 6 ability range. Yeah, that helps too, especially on Kelvin. Cooldown got increased. Yeah, pull speed reduced. Yeah, they were nerfing the. Yeah, they looks like they're nerfing rescue beam in a bit, so it is less a support item. So it is a good. Yeah, I don't think it's a good item anymore. Like they reduced the pull speed. It was a huge factor. So I don't think people will still make it, but we'll see. We move on to the next item.
Metal Skin. The active reduces the movement speed by 1.5%. This is a good change to Metal Skin, in my opinion, because as a Haze and a Wraith player, when they everybody used to, just Metal Skin your bullet damage, it is really sad, and I really like this change. Okay, at least there is something that they're losing while using that item.
Okay, yeah, तुम लोग का movement speed slow होगा. You will get punished for using metal skin if you're not in a good spot. So it's a good change, a balance change right there. Next item.
The next item we have is Superior Stamina. It now grants 75% health and now increases wall jump count by 1 as well. So you can wall jump twice now, if possible. So it's a good change.
Yeah, they buffed the supreme stamina. I mean, you still don't have to go supreme stamina every game, but if you go, you get more mobility, to be honest. Okay, next item.
The next item we have is Majestic Leap. Now it grants 6% Spirit Res. Few patches before, they really, nerfed the Majestic Leap, in my opinion. And now it's a good change because it didn't really give that much of a stat boost for being a 3000 item. So it's a good change.
Yeah, they gave him like gave it like 6% spirit resist. I still think people will just buy it for the active and not for the passive. But if you buy it, it provides a good stat too. So you get spirit resist. It's a decent change, to be honest. Phantom Strike, the next item.
The final item that we have, which is changed, is Phantom Strike. Cast range now ignores the Z height, similar to Lash Death Slap. Good change in my opinion because people who made Phantom Strike like Yamato and people normally are on a zip and they just enter in and they just use that ability, and that Z axis was a big factor for them as well. So it's a good change in my opinion.
They वो लोग ये add इसलिए किए because before this patch they added a interaction where जिसको भी Phantom Strike use करोगे वो ground पे गिर जाएगा, so they can't fly. So this they made it to so it is easier to target the Vindictors that fly. You can hit them and they fall to the ground if you're below them. So it is a good change of, and it is actually a buff. So it is actually a counter for Vindicta and Great Island to bring them down, so they don't do that much damage. Okay, so that's all for the vitality items. So we move on to the spirit items.
The first spirit item we have is Ammo Scavenger. While at max stat, you gain 2% spirit. For the people
Okay,
who don't know, Ammo Scavenger not only gave you ammo back, but it also gave you spirit power per time you get that, when you secure a soul. So it's a good change in my opinion.
okay. I mean, it only counts when you have like max stacks. It is a really good nerf, especially in lane. You get more spirit power, especially on pocket. So it is a good change. We can move on to the next item, Infuser.
The next item we have is Infuser. They reduced the cooldown from 37 seconds to 32 seconds. This item was also nerfed a few patches before because it gave a lot of spirit healing in the early stages of the game. But now I think it is a viable option. It is not that viable still, but it's a good option to buy in an early game phase as an Infernus or somebody who deals a lot of spirit damage in the early game phases.
Yeah, they're buffing Infuser actually. It ज़्यादा use on Infuser. If you don't know, Infuser gives you spirit power 2 on active and plus lifesteal. So they're reducing the cooldown, so it is more viable to use in lane phase. And we go into the next item, Decay.
They reduce the healing. They reduce the healing reduction from 70 to 55%, and they increase the damage from 1% to 1.4%. With the anti-healing nerfs and basically rework, it's a good change in my opinion.
Yeah,
And
they reduced it. Yep, they reduced the healing. Plus they also buffed the damage of Decay actually for like 1% to 1.4. Okay, so we move on to the next item. I mean, Decay
Withering
is
Whip.
not a good item. Anyways, people still don't go Decay, especially. I mean, going Decay for the healing reduction is not good. You better go Toxic Bullets or Healbane. I only see like Shift Rays go Decay. So it was not a good item before, and I don't think it's now more people just don't buy it because nobody buys this item for damage. So while we go to the next item now.
Withering Whip. Cooldown reduced from 18 seconds to 15 seconds.
Okay, so I don't think this item will be good again. More people will not go. This item just doesn't provide any other benefits rather than just reducing their bullet resist. There are more items the heroes can make to like do more damage. I only see on hazes who just want more damage just go this item. So in some cases this item is good, but still less people make this item. So we go on to the next item.
The next item we have is Improved Spirit. They increase the heal health from 100 to 125. They increase it by 25. Not a big change, but a good change at that.
It's a normal change. This is not a big change or anything. It provides more health now. So we move on.
Yeah. The next item we have is Silence Glyph. No longer tracking projectile using a unit target, releases an aim-based projectile that silences or impact. This is a really good thing that,
They also
it is,
reduce the cooldown.
yeah, they also reduce the cooldown of it. But in my opinion, Silence Glyph was like a targeted spell. Now it's more towards an aim-based skill that you can miss it as well. So it's a good change in my opinion.
Okay,
It
let's
is a
see it
bad
in
change
game.
for the people who make it.
Let's see it in game actually. Silence Glyph.
You have a good eye.
Okay, now you have to target this. It doesn't lock on. You just have to target. It goes in a straight line. सीधा जाता है and you just have to hit him. So it is like a skill shot, if you can say that. And you can miss it easily if you are like mid-air. It is a big AoE. I mean, it is a good item. इसको बनाया इसलिए क्या है कि it is more harder to hit and more rewarding if you hit the silence. And it makes it so his player can dodge it, or like any other pocket, even pocket can dodge it with his E, or like teleport. That is good. This balance out the silence problem actually in game with like less silence. Like they nerfed like silencer in weapon, and now the silence cliff like kinda. So it is in my opinion a good change for like other heroes that are vulnerable to silence. So we move on to the next item.
The next item we have is Ethereal Shift. Now, after shifting, you gain 20% spirit power.
Oh, they bring it back. Before it used to give you spirit power, and now they removed it, but now it gives you back. It's a really good change actually. 20 spirit power after you come out of ethereal shift is really good. 20 spirit power is a lot actually, and it does a lot for like a hero like Pocket or like any spirit kind of hero. So it is a good change. It's actually a huge change. More people will go ethereal shift now. We move on to the next item.
The next item we have is Rapid Recharge. Time between recharges reduced from 65% to 60%.
Okay, they nerfed it basically. They nerfed it so you can't have like an ability recharge like more quickly. I mean, it's a decent nerf. People like Lash and like especially chef players just spamming their knives was annoying. So it's a good nerf. Next item, knockdown.
Next item, it's a really good change in my opinion. It's Knockdown. They reduce the Z height axis basically, and now you can
Uh,
cast it from
yeah,
anywhere.
they ignore the z-axis. So for those of you who doesn't know what z-axis is, I didn't explain it before. Let me explain it in game. Let me switch to Lash first.
Oh, I'll summon the patrons. Let's go.
If I go in the air
Start running.
and press my ult,
I'm about.
you see I
All right,
can
I'm
ult
done.
anybody inside this circle, no matter how lower or how above they are.
Here's
Like I have
something
no
you can
limit for
try.
height limit, but I have limit for the area I can just see,
One.
the circle area. So the z-axis, they mean like you can just use those item like above in the air, ignore the limit, like कितना वो लोग ऊपर है, you can still hit them. For example, I'm gonna make और ऊपर जाओ if you can. Yeah, I can bring him down using my ult.
Take me
See, it
away.
still locks on. I can bring her down. And if
And
I
now,
use knockdown, where's knockdown by? Yeah, there you go.
Go out there
I
and impose your
if
will.
he if अगर वो और ऊपर जाता है, I can still use him
Down.
without the limit. So this ये करता है z-axis and phantom strike का भी जो पहले था वो भी यही करता है.
Recreational mayhem.
I can just click phantom strike no matter वो कितना भी ऊपर हो. I can just click. Oh my god.
Phantom
Yeah, see?
strike.
बस वैसा range होना चाहिए. Like z-axis, y-axis is just similar. Z-axis is everything. Left and right is just range एक. It doesn't have unlimited range.
Now you see me.
बस z-axis का. So yeah, I hope you guys clear हो गया होगा अब ये सब. So we go on to the next item.
the next item we have is two buffs to Mystic Slow. It now grants 1% spirit, and now it also increases your health by 20. So it's just a balancing update for this item, I believe. They are just playing with the values, and they're just looking how how it will come back into the game.
It used to give you 5 spirit power, a small buff. I mean, ये item ऐसे भी लोग जाता था for slow movement, slow and fire rate slow. थोड़ा सा buff है, yeah, more people will go. I definitely get this buff. So we move on to the next item, Dormant
The
Pulse.
next item we have is
Pulse.
Torment Pulse. It now grants 15% melee resistance.
Melee resistance, good. I mean, uh, a lot of Abram. I don't know about Abrams. I have seen a lot of बहुत सारे shift players and Yamato go Dormant Pulse, even like Moin Krell. Now they get extra melee resistance against like melee guys. It's good. Not the best, but it is good. We move on to the next item, the new item.
The next item is the new one, known as the Spirit Snatcher. It एक मिनट मेरे पहले तो ये बताओ कि मेरे बैकग्राउंड से क्या तुम्हें ढोलों की आवाज आ रही है?
उतना नहीं.
ओके, तो बता देना अगर लगे एक्स्ट्रा तो मैं
ठीक
इसमें कंफर्म कर देता हूँ.
ठीक. We move
ठीक
on
है.
to the next item, the new item.
The T3 item of the spirit is known as Spirit Snatch. Requires Spirit Strike, causes the melee attacks to steal 20% Spirit Res and 26% Spirit Power for 16 seconds. And it is on a cooldown of 6 seconds. You receive stacks if you hit different heroes. So, and it now passively grants 15% melee damage, 8% Spirit Resistance, 125% health, 125 health, not percent, and 1% Spirit. Good
So
item in my
it's
opinion.
good item. It requires Spirit Strike. I mean, it is an upgrade for Spirit Strike. It only provides like 3% more melee damage compared to like Spirit Strike, and I mean it steals 12 Spirit resistance and steals like 26 Spirit power from the enemy, not wicked. Like it steals from the enemy. This item is not that OP. I mean, it is good on certain heroes like Viscous. If you're going like melee Viscous build, it still works on your third move. But I will not say it is an item that Abram's gonna make or somebody else. It does give you like spirit damage on your melee, but it's not that good of an item. People will still use this item in a lot of different situations, but we'll see how this item works out. In my opinion, I don't feel like using this item in any of my heroes. So we'll move on to the next item. That's my favorite actually, the new Arcane
New tier 3
Search.
item, the second new tier 3 item is Arcane Search. Requires connected dash. After a successful dash jump, the next ability you use will also have 20% range, 20% duration, and 20% spirit power. It also passively grants 100 health, 1 stamina, and 15% slow resistance.
Okay, so why this item is my favorite? Because ये kinetic dash से बनता है and plus it gives you range, it gives you a duration, and it gives you 20 spirit power. Plus इसका passively 100 health, plus it gives you stamina. So if you are good with stamina, you don't have to buy extra stamina, and you can have like more stamina with like more mobility with the kinetic dash. Plus you get more. You also have 15% spirit resistance, like slow resistance, and you get like all the other 20 range and 20 duration. Especially it's good on pocket, to be honest. It provides a lot in on pocket and on a lot of heroes. So I like this item a lot. Definitely gonna make it. And well, we move on to the next big nurse, I think, in spirit.
It's Divine Kevlar. It no longer provides 20% spirit lifesteal, but now grants 7% ability duration.
Okay, so in my opinion, this is a huge nerf to Divine Kelvar. Kelvar. Okay, how do you say
Kevlar.
it? Kevlar. Okay,
Kevlar. Yes.
Kevlar. Okay.
Yeah.
So in my opinion, this is a big nerf to Divine Kevlar. It it no longer provides 20% spirit lifesteal. It now provides 10% ability duration. In my opinion, 10% ability duration is not a big thing, especially for a 6,000 item, 6,000 souls item. 20% spirit lifesteal was a lot, especially on pocket because I'm a pocket main. And I really hate this update, this change. I think Divine Kevlar is bad now. I don't know, it might be useful because of the shield, but in my opinion, it's bad. We'll see what happens. Especially for me, I'm not gonna make it. And we move on to the next item. It's not that good now. Echo
The next
Shard.
item we have is Echo Shard. The cast delay reduced from 0.3 seconds to 0.25 seconds. I think this is a basically a answer to a lot of bebop players in my opinion because now you can cast your double second move faster, double bomb faster in my opinion.
Yeah, it is a buff because I think Bebop players बहुत कम लोग उसके बाद अभी डबल बॉम्ब छोड़ रहे थे. They went more like a right click build. So I think they wanted like Echo Shard. People start buying Echo Shard more. That's why they did this change. We go on to the next item, Mystic Reverb.
The Mystic Reverb got his damage increased from 40% to 45%, so a
Uh,
5% increase.
this is a good buff actually. This buff now provides it does almost if you do like 200 damage, it does like 45% less damage of the 200 damage after it has been done. Let me show you in game actually how it works. Uh,
So is this for a pit fight or just recreation?
camera. Yep. Yeah, Mystic Reverb on my Mystic Reverb is on my ground strike. So let's see. आप नीचे खड़े रहो. So I did 298 damage. And it's like 134 of my. I did like how much? I'm gonna try it again. Brother.
Let's dance, buddy.
I did 216 damage and 95 on the other hit. So it is like 45% of the damage I dealt on my first strike.
Tired of getting your
It is more, 311, and it does like 140. It is a really good buff. It does more damage overall. It might help you get more kills. It is a good change. I like this. People will buy it more, especially on Lash. I'm gonna buy it. We move on to the next and final spirit change, and
It
lastly
is
item change.
It is refresher. Refresher got a cooldown increase from
They
230
nerfed.
seconds to 260 seconds. It's a
They
nerf.
yep, they nerfed it. They probably nerf इसलिए हुआ है कि बहुत सारे dynamo players just refreshing everywhere. Dynamo players and warden players with his ult like 230 to 260 30-second increase. Good nerf because सारे लोग को ult नहीं चाहिए हर second, so that is good. Well, that wraps up with the item changes. We will now start on the hero changes. One, go.
Hey guys, this is the hero section of our video. Let's start with the first changes, which happened to Abramus. First of all, the first change was that the base region increased from 1 to 1.5, so Abrams can heal faster now. The next ability which got changed of Abrams was Spirit Life Range. It now scales with Spirit Power. It increases 0.05 per Spirit Power. And the second change to that same ability was that Spirit Life damage rescaled with Spirit Power increased from 0.4 to 0.5.
So it does rescale now, right?
Now it scales by a lot.
Scales
And the final
by
thing,
spirit.
and the final thing which is happening is the side space impact drag down collision is improved a bit, so that when it is about corners, you can easily hit heroes who are standing near the corner.
So it is easier to lash in. Yep.
It's a very simple option to do it.
It is
That's
easier
all
to
the
grab.
Abrams change in this patch. This is all the Abrams change. If you want to play around with this, you can do that in your own sandbox mode. The next hero which got changed is Bebop. Bebop was a really not played well hero in high MMR ratings because there were better heroes. So Bebop's first exploding uppercut T2 now applies a melee damage too. So not only it gives a spirit damage, now it also gives a melee damage when it is upgraded to level 2.
Level 2?
Yeah.
So it procs melee items.
So it is basically a ability to deal extra damage on your uppercut.
Plus you
The
can
next thing which was
make
changed-
melee.
Yeah, you can plus make melee on Bebop. The next thing which changed was the hook can be now cancelled by allies with an exit key. This is a really good change in my opinion, because sometimes Bebop hooks, my own teammate, and it makes me feel bad. So now if I hook anybody, it leads to, they can cancel it at any point. They
You
don't
pick
need
some
to-
ally moment. Yep. And I'll try to hook you.
Yeah. I can cancel it. I can cancel it if I even do get hooked. I can cancel it at any point.
You
So-
hook me.
So for your perspective, you won't see a button, but you need to spam space so that you don't get, hooked.
Or you can just click the button that you use to cancel abilities. It's the same.
And you can cancel at any duration at any point. The next
you.
big changes which happened to a hero, in my opinion, was Dynamo. The first change which happened with Dynamo is the kinetics level now slides around geometry when it hits an obstruction. So it goes around it so that it doesn't stop at the same place. So for example, it would stop at this place right here. Now it goes through it and it curves around it so that it can hit other people as well here.
Yeah,
It's
it
a good
does so.
change. Yeah, it's a good change. The next thing which changed is its black hole, or also known as quantum singularity. The pulling allies no longer cancels their channel. It is a good thing because every single time when somebody TPs me, I'm always been like कि यार वो मर जाता. But this time I'm sure कि this will not happen when he TPs me out. It doesn't cancel my channel and it will not cancel anything.
You channel your third move. Yeah, it doesn't cancel the channeling.
Do it again.
You need to cast your channel. Yep. Yeah, it
is
doesn't
still
cancel the
channeling as we
channel.
speak, and it is still healing. So
Any
it's a good
hero.
change. Yeah. Now rejuvenating aura now also allows you to reload during it. Currently allows you to continue reloading if cast before. So if you are rejuvenating aura and you shoot somebody, let's say,
You
you're
can
shooting,
you can still reload while
you
you.
can still reload during this ability. The next changes which happened is again to counter entanglement. It now has a visual indicator for allies that will teleport, so allies can also see that. Counter entanglement range is also increased from 9 meters to 10 meters. It is a good distance in my opinion. And now the cooldown is increased by 1 second as well. And the tier 3 cooldown reduction improved from -4 seconds to -5 seconds, so that it is just like old times when it is upgraded to, tier 3 range. So it's the same for the late game purposes, but it is a buff. It's a nerf in the early stages, but it's fine. And the final thing which changed with Dynamo is that rejuvenating aura now allows you to melee before the tier 3 upgrade. So you do not require a tier 3 upgrade to melee in rejuvenating aura. You can still do that.
You can still reload while you healing. You can still reload. You can still melee.
It is It's a good change in my opinion.
It is a buff for Dynamo, I think.
Yeah, it's a great buff in my opinion. It's a good
Okay.
buff and a good patch for Dynamo in my opinion. The next hero we have is Great Alan.
I'm coming
There
for
are a
you,
lot of
Hathor.
changes starting from his bullet damage, which got increased from the base 24 to 25, and his health growth per boon is increased from 27 to 29. This is, I would say, a good thing to change because in the early stages of the game, Great Alan is very squishy, and the early damage of that first and second level is very negligible. The next thing which got changed is the immobilizing traps. There is actually around 7 changes that happened, so we're gonna go through it fast. Now it tethers targets
Trap is
rather
set.
than rooting them. So it works like Vindicta as well.
They can
Tether
move, but
duration,
they can't go above long
Let's
duration,
see what
long
you
distance.
catch, my friend.
long distance. The next thing they increased is the duration. It was 1.25 seconds, now it's 1.5 seconds.
Setting snare.
It also applies a 50% slow for 1 second after after you are basically after
They
it gets
won't know
off.
what hit them.
Slow now starts immediately by 30% and lasts until 2 seconds after the tether ends. So it is a good change in my opinion.
This is the perfect
The
spot.
T2 is changed from 2% slow to 1% plus tether. So in
Okay.
the after upgrading it to level 2, you can increase it to 2.5 seconds, which is a long
If they
time to
come,
keep a
I'll
hero
be
tethered.
ready.
And it's a good change in my opinion.
Yeah, they're immobile for a long duration.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love a
The
surprise?
next change is the radius got increased from 6 to 6.2, so it is much easier to hit. And the cooldown of the T1 immobilizing trap was improved from 19 seconds, minus 19 seconds to minus 20 seconds. A increase, a reduce of 1 second is a good thing. And
They
the final
basically
change
buff the
which
trap a
yeah,
lot.
and the final thing which happened is the guided owl camera, his ult, now returns more quickly when the owl collides very
Not
far away.
save them.
So it doesn't really matter. You can easily come back and play a normal game after using guided owl. It comes really fast and it's a good change in my opinion.
Yeah, you
A
really
good
have
buff,
good control early.
another good buff on Great Talent. The next hero which got changed is Haze. The first thing which happened is the fixed bullish dance sometimes freezing your client. This was a great issue in my opinion because as a Haze player I mentioned it many times to my friends as it was it frizzed my client sometimes. Now using items during smoke bombs no longer breaks invisibility. This is a good change because you were able to break invisibility by even using a singular item and you could not be sneaky at all times. Now smoke bomb cooldown is reduced from 37 seconds to 30 seconds. Smoke bomb tier 1 changed from 14 seconds to 6 inverse sprint speed. This is a good change in my opinion.
You can
because
move
it used to
fast
be,
now.
yeah, in the early stages because you can early rotate faster. And it was used to be a tier 2 change, but now it's a tier 1. They changed tier 2 from 6 inverse speed to 15% bullet lifesteal for 8 seconds when you come out of smoke bomb, which is a really good thing because in the early stages Haze does not really have that much damage or items that he can bullet lifesteal now. So it's a good change in my opinion, and it gives it a good thing. And the P3 changes, which was 30% bullet lifesteal for 8 seconds to phase out of for 0.5 seconds on cast and enables charges with 10 charges time, causes you to be out of the world and fizzle incoming projectiles during this time. You are still able to move, you need to buy charges still. So this is confusing when you read it at first, but when you actually go into the game and you upgrade your ability, you can click on it and you can see there's a indication meter there, and you can basically be, you know, uh, you basically have that thing. It gives you a one ability charge, and
So basically, you can use your smoke bomb 2 times because it is a charge ability now. You can buy extra charge to have 2 charges of your smoke bomb, so you can go invisible twice.
Slip right through them.
and during the start when you click smoke bomb, you get invulnerable for 0.5 seconds, so you can run away from the enemies using this item as well.
Yeah, that is basically to dodge any projectile or any item coming your way. You can just click it and it dodges instantly. You can dodge any projectile using it, and you have 2 charges. You can increase it by buying rapid charges.
Defensive base.
You have 3 charges of the smoke bomb now, so you can go invis instantly. So we move on.
So the next thing is that fixation damage versus objects are reduced by 30 seconds, 30%. Objectives now take less damage from your fixation damage, the stack that you build on anybody or any tower or any objective in that opinion. Now they take 30% less damage. The bullet damage is same for everything, but the fixation damage is low.
Okay, they're
And the
nerfing it.
bullets, yeah, basically they're nerfing his ability to take towers, and it's a good change in my opinion. Bullet dance bonus damage changed from plus 5 bullet damage to 6 spirit damage with 0.1 spirit scaling. And this is a good change because it is more inclined towards actually using it in such a way that it is actually helpful to you rather than just pressing it and killing everybody.
You do now.
And
You do spirit damage now with your ult, not physical.
and that's
Like
one of
not
the
what.
major changes in my opinion.
And there's also a cool animation for this.
And you actually see that on your screen while doing that. And bullets dance T1 change from plus 7% spirit damage. So in the early game, when you are buying items, you can play with your ult and play an ult build as well. a good thing. In
We'll
my
move on.
Now the next hero which got changes is Infernus. The afterburn delay time is now 15% slower. It's a buff to Infernus afterburn because people have been nerfing this character. The devs have been nerfing this character for far too long. Concessive combustion radius increased from 12 to 13 centimeters. Sorry, meters.
Burn it down.
The radius is smaller. Oh, wow.
Radius is increased by 1 centimeter, and it's
Oh,
a
they
lot
increase the
because,
radius.
yeah, because the radius is good. And the combustion T2 radius reduced from 4% to 3%. So in the end, when you are basically, working around while upgrading your alt, it is the same in the end, but it is better in the early stages of your life.
Okay.
The next hero which got a big change in my opinion is Ivy. The first change which happened to Ivy is stone form, drag down, collision. Okay, I need to restart it.
Go.
The next big change which happened to a hero is Ivy. The first change which happened was the stone form drag down collision improved a bit. So when the stone, basically presses down, it used to displace people, but now it is improved a little bit. So it is much simpler and much easier for you to combo it out. The next thing which got changed is its base damage. Bullet damage increased from 5 to 5.2, and the growth reduced from 0.36 to 0.34. It's a little nerf when you go in the later stages of the game because it stacks up. But it's a decent change in my opinion. The next change which happened was Fix being launched incorrectly while using stone form on certain geometry. This is another bug which happened with Ivy, and it got fixed, which is a good thing. And they also fixed the brief period of vulnerability that you got after casting, and it's a good thing in my opinion because now when you're in stone form, you should be invulnerable at all times. Ivy's airdrop also got changed. They improved the controls of it a little bit. They reduced the duration by 1 second. They reduced they increased the cooldown from 85 to 90 seconds, a 5 seconds difference. And aid of speed can now be increased with movement speed of spirit items when out of combat. And now it amplifies spirit values by 1.5%. So it's a good change in my opinion. They definitely increase the cooldown, but it's a good change in my opinion for Ivy.
Yep.
The next thing which happened, it was a really small thing, to Kelvin. Seismic Impact, Bed Slam, and Ground Strike now splashes through Ice Path. So now basically Lash's alt, Seismic Impact, or Ground Strike of heroes
Used to get
now
stuck
used to get
before on
stuck.
the wall, or like if there's an ice path between the between Lash and his ground slam, the Lash used to get stuck, but I think they removed it, so it now goes through the ice path to land. I think they fixed. That was a bug that need to be fixed. I think they fixed it. So if you pick Lash, you can show it.
And this is a
Lash.
good change in my opinion. So Lash.
If you pick Lash, you can show how this interaction works. Upar jao. And slam through my thing. Slam.
It broke here.
Yeah. Now the person you throw, they go through the thing. They don't get stuck on the ice path that Calvin makes. So it is a good balance change.
That's a good change in my opinion. They also increased the ground strike drag down collision improved for Lash. So it's just an improvement upgrade for a lot of characters as well. But the next character which got a huge change in my opinion, I'm very happy about it when I see this, is McGinnis. The first change was that they increased the bullet velocity from 533 to 590. As we all know, that McGinnis has a minigun which ramps up, and this is a good change because it helps you, basically adapt to that full speed faster. They fixed wall triggering reactive barrier before T3 stun. So they fixed this, and it is a good thing because most of the time you're not maxing out wall instantaneously, and it is very dependent. So I think it's a good change in my opinion. Now they have a lot of buffs and nerfs to McGinnis's mini turrets, as mini turrets' health no longer scales with our hero's health, which is a little nerf. Mini turret spirit resistance reduced from 70 to 30%. It is a big nerf to this, but mini health base health increased from 75 to 150, roughly the same overall health than previous start of the game. Mini turrets now gain 20 health per boon, so it stacks with your items, not your items but your ability points. And mini turrets now take at most 33% of the max XP per second from any damage source. Any excess damage is moved to the following second. In effect, this means that turret will always live for at least 3 seconds or longer, which is a good thing in my opinion.
Did they increase the attack speed of turrets?
They didn't increase the attack speed. They now lose 33% of their max HP per second when somebody hits them. So you cannot melt down a turret. Your turret at least stays on for 3 seconds.
Okay.
And let's take that for an example. Look at this. If you come here, I have everything, but I cannot do that. It takes you 3 seconds to break that because it only takes 33% of the health.
Can't hide forever.
So even though you got damage, it will take time to break the turret.
Yeah.
Okay.
The next change which happened was that there was a bug that mini turrets dying caused you to lose spirit. It is fixed now. And mini turret cycle time reduced from 0.5 to 0.25, and while the DPS is changed, the DPS remains unchanged. And mini turret's bullet velocity increased from 406 to 500, which is a good buff to it. And I think it will be a good support character in higher MMR lobbies, in my opinion. The
Nice.
next changes which happened to Mirage, our lane dominator hero. The first thing which happened is the tornado speed is reduced by 10%, so it is much easier to dodge. They fixed the tornado being unusable while immobilized, so it is now unusable while being immobilized, so it cannot get out of sticky situations. Tornado and fire scarab abilities slot swapped, so now tornado and fire's ability is like basically swapped from 1 to 2 and from 1 to 2. Travel cooldown increased from 130 to 145 seconds. This is a direct nerf to Mirage TPing to a lane and basically destroying or killing the enemy hero. And they increased travel T2 increased from minus 40 seconds to 555 seconds. So in the end, in the early stage of the game, it is just a nerf, but in the later stage it will be the same. And travel can now be cast by targeting the top bar portraits. So you can just click on the top portraits to teleport to any person, and you can see it is very simple to do that now. You don't need to click on the map.
You just have to click on the portrait above, and you will TP there.
The next big changes, in my opinion, happened to Moenkril, where the first thing which happened was the headshot resistance now only applies to the big head. It does not apply to the small head. So if you hit the small head, it is still the same damage. Burrow can now go under Spectral Wall. Spectral Wall, for the people who do not know,
Wait, McGinnis.
is the ability of McGinnis. And if I do it, and I do this, he can come down from there and hit me.
Yeah, I can go through the wall.
It is a good thing, in my opinion.
Yeah, because you
The
are under
next-
the ground, so you
Yeah.
should be able to.
Now combo now pulls the target closer to you over time, and it's a good thing in my opinion because it is more towards that comboing somebody you're actually using your hands and they move
Yeah.
closer to you every single time.
Sometimes you use your combo and they have like a momentum, so they move like forward. So now it will bring them back to the original position near you.
The next thing is sandblast duration reduced from 3.5 to 3 seconds. It is just a balancing change in my opinion, and they reduce the slow from 50% to 40%. And I think it's a good overall change to point with, but it depends on how people are gonna play it. The next hero that we have, which got a little change, is Paradox. They fixed kinetic carbine, not processing, headshots effect, headshot booster, headshot hunter, and crippling headshot. So they fixed it, so at the head, you do a lot more damage with kinetic carbine than on the body with those items.
Yeah, it uses the modifier of your crippling headshot now correctly.
Now, Paradoxical swap, his ult, time min slash max is increased from 0.2 to 0.3. It is so that it is helpful with camera and you can react to it. And the final thing which happens is the time will also deals 50 damage when you go through it.
Walls up.
It does the percentage based damage
I
and
love
does
this
damage
part.
as enemy. Of course.
This will slow him down.
So every single time I wash through it, I lose 50% of my HP. 50 HP, sorry, not 50%.
Wall set.
A good change at that.
Go next.
The next small change which happened is to Sven. Storm Cloud now causes you to levitate up and down a little bit in a cycle rather than being fully stationary. And Storm Cloud expansion time is reduced from 2 to 1.5 seconds. So it is a little harder for anybody to hit, and plus the speed is reduced, expansion time is reduced, so it goes faster on a longer period for a longer time. So people can take more damage. It helps with the DPS in that way.
Yeah, it bobbles up and down when you're in the air.
So it is much harder to hit Sven in his art. The next big change which happened to a hero is Shift. They changed almost everything about the shift, so let's get started with it. Serrated knife cooldown reduced from 19 to 16 seconds. And it can now be used to capture souls. This is a good thing in my opinion, because now if my bullets are over, I can use my ability to capture the souls.
Wait, I can knife them? Oh,
You can now knife them to capture souls. It's a good thing. Slice and dice base damage increased from 105 to 110, a 5 increase. And a T2 reduced, slice and dice T2 reduced from 75 to 70. And slice and dice cooldown reduced from 16 seconds to 15 seconds. And slice and dice tier 1 reduced from 4 to 3 seconds. So,
you won, okay.
so in the early game of things, they are buffing Shiv in the early games when every ability is level 1. So that, it deals a lot more damage. A 5 damage is a lot in the early game. It stacks up. and the cooldown is also reduced by 1 second, so it's a good thing.
They buffed him a little bit after some nerfs.
Yeah. Now, this shift killing blow threshold increased from 20% to 22%. Killing blow T2 reduced from 8 seconds, 8% enemy health threshold to 6%.
Yeah, they increased it in
blow-
the normal.
Yeah, killing blow full rage damage bonus increased from 15 seconds to 17 seconds, and killing blow T2 reduced from 10 seconds full range bonus to 8%.
Okay.
Fixed an issue where using serrated knives and immediately holding M1 after to shoot, not firing your gun. It was just a bug which happened with shift, which was fixed. Killing blow rage per spirit damage increased from 0.13 to 0.014. So it's an overall buff to shift, in my opinion. They are buffing the early stages of shift when the abilities are not that high level. And in the later stages, it is just the same. But in the early levels, they're making it more viable for shift to rotate out and to play the game. They also increase their ults, range from 14 to 15.
Yep, to chase people down quickly.
The next big change to an hero, in my opinion, was Vindicta. They changed almost everything about Vindicta as well. So, the first thing which they changed is the Crow's Familiar. They changed from 2 seconds cast delay to 0.2 seconds post cast time. So, after casting your word, it is a 0.2 seconds of post cast time that you have a delay on. You cannot do anything in that 0.2 seconds.
So basically, it's instant.
The birds will deal with them.
It is instant, but after the casting, it is 0.2 seconds that you cannot do anything. The next thing is that Crow now reduces spirit resistance by 6%, and T3 is changed from plus 3 seconds speed and 40% anti-heal to minus 12% spirit and bullet resistance. Which is a good thing in my opinion, so that people are more inclined to use bird as an aggressive weapon.
Bye-bye.
Stake radius increased from 8 to 9 meters, which is a good thing.
What?
Stake now
Stakes.
sucks.
Okay,
Yeah.
for the first move.
Tying them
Stake now
Radius
reduce-
increase.
Yeah. Stake now sucks enemies 3 meters towards the center and limits the movement to 6 meters from the
No
center.
running.
So it's a better thing and easy for you to shoot,
Locking down an area.
and it pulls me out.
It pulls you in.
Throwing stake.
It's a good change in my opinion. They changed from 0.5 seconds as the T1 of stake to minus 40% fire range when somebody gets stunned.
You're not getting
And they
close.
changed T3 from disarm to 0.75 seconds of disarm only. Vindicta's
Tether
assassinate-
duration, not disarm.
Okay, I need to restart this over.
Hmm.
Okay. They changed stake T1 from 0.5 seconds to minus 40% fire rate, and they changed T3 from disarm to 0.75 seconds of range. Did I mess it up again?
Yes.
Holy hell, what was it?
Just radius, and then it sucks.
Duration. Yeah.
Tier 1 is minus 40% fire rate, and tier 3 is disarm हटा के वो 0.75 second duration कर दिया है अब उतना देर तक तुम tethered रहोगे.
हाँ,
Tier 3
okay.
duration is disarm is reduced.
Okay, take 3, 2, 1.
1.
Stake tier 1 changed from 0.5 seconds to minus 40% fire rate. It is a good change in my opinion, so that early levels stake can be used to reduce fire rate. And they changed T3 from changing it from disarm to 0.75 seconds more duration. A good change in my opinion, but I will be missing disarm in my opinion. The next changes happened to assassinate, which is the minimum charge up time increase from 25% to 50%,
It's easier every time.
and bonus damage on low HP,
Then
base
mine.
damage reduction from 135 to 120. Fix assassinate being stick if you zoom in and get silenced. So it used to be a bug, and now it got fixed, and now it's a good thing. I think it's a really great buff to Vindicta, and a lot more people are going to be playing.
I see them.
The next hero which got a little change is Viscous, where the puddle punch can now be parry and does not stun Viscous.
Okay,
Only
can you
blocks
parry?
the puddle effect for the player.
I'll not get stunned, but you will not get damage if you parry.
If I parry it, therefore I won't get launched like I would, and I would not take damage for it.
Oh my god. Let's do it. Yeah, there you go. You'll not get damage or you will not get punched. It's just like a normal parry, but I'll also not get stunned. So it is a good counter play if because of a lot of Viscous players just spamming their third move. Okay, go ahead.
The next change which happened was to Warden. They increased the fire rate spirit scaling. It was 0.3%, now it is 0.25%. They now made Alchemical Flask now respects LOS, and it's a good change because it used to hit you regardless where you are positioned, and now it is a good thing. And they changed his ult. Last stand cooldown is increased from 138 seconds to 140 seconds, and last stand resistance during channel time increased from 50 to 60%. They might have increased it by 2 seconds, but they also increased the resistance so that Warden is more tanky in his ult. I really like this change for Warden, and I hope I can see more Warden players in my games in the future. Now, as we come down to the final two heroes which got changed, let's start with Wraith. Wraith got a little bit changed. Its full auto tier 2 no longer has the spirit scaling. It is moved to tier 3, and basically the tier 3 now adds spirit scaling to it. So you now in tier 2 you only get the buff, while in tier 3 you not only get this bullet lifesteal but also get spirit scaling, so you do more damage when you fully upgrade your full auto. And now telekinesis now causes the target to oscillate up and down a little bit. It is the same as our heaven, as you can see.
It
So
is
that
harder to aim.
It is harder to aim, but it is fine in my opinion.
More like it's harder to hit headshots now. You can't stand it.
And the final hero which got changed in my thing is Yamato.
私は兄よりこの名を受け継いだ
There are improved cases where power slash would hit enemies behind cover, so they basically improved on that part, that the bug that people face, that Yamato is hitting them from places where they shouldn't have.
一刀両断にして
Example as shown right now, it is a good thing, and that's the thing. Now the next thing which got changed is his
Redo it, Yamata, redo it. Just fucking redo it, and that's the thing.
आखिरी है ना तो मैं इतना खुश हूँ ना खत्म होने के लिए, but okay.
That's the thing.
ठीक है. As we come down to our final character on this patch note, it's Yamato. Yamato has improved cases where power slash would hit enemies behind cover. It used to be a bug where Yamato would have been able to hit people through cover, which was a weird thing to be fairly honest, but now it's fixed and they are now improving on it. The next thing which got changed is her ult, sorry. But the thing which changed is Shadow Transformation no longer heals you on cast, and Shadow Transformation T3 increased from 0.2 seconds to 0.3 seconds. But when you're in Shadow Transformation, it now heals you 15% of your max HP whenever you kill a hero inside that ult.
Yeah, so you no longer heals when you cast it. So hit me. Before it used to heal you for like 25% of your health. Hit me. So if I get low, if I'm like 28 health, if I pop ult, I stay on 30 HP, and I can still die. Kill me. Yeah, I don't get healed. I'm still at 30 HP. I just have like a 2-second vulnerability. I think this makes Yamato dead, to be honest, because his ult is no more good.
力を思い知れ
If you kill, you'll get heal, but if you don't kill, you'll just die because you're only at like 20% health. So I think this is a huge nerf, to be honest, for Yamato, because they just buffed it. A lot of people were just playing Yamato, but now she got nerfed. So we'll see what happens. Get back to Bappo.
As we have all gone through our heroes changes, if you have any doubts or anything related to that, you can of course go to your sandbox and test it out for yourself. But make sure you are learning more heroes and you're learning how to play this game betterly so that you can improve. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye, guys.
35.